Shit's gone sideways.
I'm here with Graham Abo Henry. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, mate. No worries.
One of Sydney's most notorious crime figures.
That's what they're saying.
Certainly one that's still standing,
Yeah,
right?
still here.
So from hearing some of your other interviews, I know that you were called Abo back when you were, 14 by your mates?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because you were dark-skinned, but you thought you were Spanish.
Yeah, right. Well, I always thought that my mother actually came from Wales.
Yep.
And that was like invaded by the Spaniards, and she was sort of had reasonably dark skin herself for a pommy.
Yep.
And she was brought out here as a kid. She lost a leg and the family couldn't look after her. And they brought her, another family brought her out here called the Evans family. They brought her out here and raised her, and they were all Maltese, but she wasn't. But and then she met my alleged father, who was, a returned soldier from the Second World War.
Sess Henry.
Yes, Sess Henry, and very volatile fucking bloke, and probably suffering PSD and
What
on all
nationality?
sort of tablets.
Is he?
He was Australian.
Yep.
Yeah, just Aussie. Yeah. And a white fella. And I didn't find out till I was 65, mate,
Yeah.
off my sister that I was actually Aboriginal. So, so.
And how did she
I'm
know?
half and
Because
half,
she knew because your mum had told her.
Yeah, she knew all the secrets. So, I remember her telling me, and I said, well, she said, I've got something to tell you. I said, okay, I was adopted, straight away. Mm. And she said, no, not quite.
But close.
But close. But
Yeah.
she said, your mother's your mother, but your old man wasn't. I said, no wonder he fucking hated me, because he did. He fucking despised me. And, I was punching on with him since I was 13 because he was always flogging her.
Yeah.
And brutally, closed fist fucking jobs and, gave her a fucking terrible serve. And then.
So he'd go out and get half cut, come home and
then
get violent.
Well, he did. He'd always bring home a big fucking half flag and, a fucking port or something on top of the beer he'd already drunk or the rum chasers he's had.
Yeah.
And then he took Phenobarb painkillers, which were barred off the market in the 70s, but he was still getting them. And they were used to make you see things, they like being on a trip. And, he'd just get fucking lunatical on it, So, he tried to kill me when I was 16 with a garden mattock. Just 'cause I told him to jam the mouth organ up his ass because my mother had to get up to work. And just something about the look in his eye that I always had this great awareness about me, I've always had it, and it's probably what survived me all my life. But it's just the way he looked at me when he walked across the hallway and went out into the kitchen. I went,
Something's not
yeah,
right.
something's not right there. So I won this plate at a amateur boxing tournament. So it was like a big tray, big silver tray. And so I put it on the floor, and I had this steel plectrum that used to make whine sounds on guitars. So I put that up on the door handle and went to bed. Anyway, I was only half asleep, and next minute the door handle turned a fucking bit, and it used to fall on the floor and hit the tin, and bang, I was up,
Wow. So
So
you
I
set up.
bolted upright, and next minute he just came through and started swinging. Well, I just rolled out of the bed, didn't even know what had happened. I just fucking knew he tried to get me with something.
Wow.
So I hoided out the window.
So you had like a little makeshift home security system in your room. Yeah.
Like in my head.
Yeah.
It was always there, mate. I always had this fucking incredible awareness, If I didn't have dreams or, something had come to me in a dream, if I hear a dog bark, means fucking be on guard. You know what I mean? If I see a snake, I know there's an enemy around.
Yeah.
And my mother was a little bit like that too, a little bit psychic. And my younger daughter she's exceptionally good at it.
It sounds like, from hearing you speak in other interviews, it sounds like it's a combination between perhaps psychic abilities but also just strong survival instincts you've always had.
Well, I think that sort of come into play, but I think I was just, I really have this incredible awareness.
Yeah.
I don't, it just comes. Mate, I've heard voices. I've had mate, I've seen spirits. I've seen my own soul come out of my body in 1979 in Goulburn while I was meditating. And, a bloke said to me not long ago, oh, fucking, come on, mate, fucking. I said, well, mate, we'll go down to Sydney. We'll take a lie detector test, and if I fucking pass it, you pay for the fucking thing, right? Which is about $500. He didn't want to play, but, I would have passed it with flying colours. But, even put the wind up me, I went, what the fuck?
Yeah, I bet.
Then? But
Would've
I'd
scared the
always
shit out of me.
believed in it because my mother had always taught me about it as a kid. So I was pretty in tune with that sort of stuff, And I guess that's where this inner stuff comes from, For me, that's what I believe 100%.
Do you think
that's what's always warned me?
Yeah. Do you think growing up with that kind of animosity in the household with your father, do you think that made you have to kind of grow up faster?
Oh, fucking oath. 100%,
Because, I mean, that's nothing that any child should have to go through, right?
No.
Being exposed to that and having to be your mum's saviour, right, in that kind of situation.
Oh, that's right, And I mean, I can remember putting on a pair of rugby union boots, and when I was about 9, I think we were living at Cronulla then, right on the water and in old flats there that are still there. And I run over and put him on my feet and started fucking stomping on him, Well, he kicked the shit out of me, of course, but, that's what I did. I always backed her up. If someone looked at her walking down the street because the leg was cut off above her, I'd always turn around and fucking stand up for her, What are you fucking looking at, Just an instinct's always been in me, and so I protected her because she was the only one who gave a fuck about me, so, that was the way it was.
I think, do you think that had an impact on you, that you've quite clearly got this code, right, that's been important to you your whole life, that you've felt that you felt there was some sort of obligation to help protect people that couldn't protect themselves?
Oh, fucking oath. I've done that virtually all my life.
Yeah.
Still do it now. Someone will see someone having a go at someone, I'll pull them up, and I'm 71.
You want it to be a fair fight.
Yeah, that's the way it's got to be. And, look, until I got involved in the organised crime, well, it become a different matter, but there was an event in my life that really fucking changed me, and it made me from the fair go fucking stand up and let's have a go with our fist to a really violent motherfucker, and that was that I got raped in boys' home, and at Albion Street.
How old were you when that happened?
15, 16, something like that.
Why were you sent to the boys' home?
I was pinched for an assault.
Yeah.
Once I had a fight with a bloke on a station and perforated his eardrums, and they fucking sloughed me up for it. And it was only over a matter of weeks, but it happened consistently. They put me into a cell when I got there, and what the fuck am I in a cell for? Like everyone else is in a dorm.
Yeah.
And I got segregated. And the one particular bloke, like from minute go I got in there, I fucking felt uncomfortable with this fucking dog,
He had eyes on you.
Yeah, and he kept telling me to stay in the shower because you only hop in, they say soap on, soap off, rinse, step out, next forward, go in, next forward, go in. That's how it operated. He'd say, you stay in there, you little black sea, because I was really dark as a young bloke.
Yeah.
And, I thought I was fucking tough enough to fucking handle. But, when you've got a couple of big fucking strong, a lot of the screws down there in the old Albion Street and the escort blokes and all them, they're all ex-wrestlers, and they were fucking strong motherfuckers, And, I was fucking, would have been at that age, 8 stone ring and wet. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, anyway, they fucking, he just kept fucking segregating me and, as I say, put me up in there, and then they caught me pissing out the window one night. The window only opened up about that much, let a bit of air in. And I knocked up on the door to fucking get her so I could go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Anyway, no one come. So I just fucking got up on the end of the bed and, you know, how you were as a kid, you could pee fucking 20 feet. You know
stream,
what I mean?
Power stream, yep.
That power stream. So I
Put
just
out a
aimed
fire
it
with
for
it.
the fucking thing and hit it. And of course, it was hitting the window and splashing and going everywhere. So anyway, I got the shit punched out of me for that. And then it started from there. Next minute, bang, they were on me and fucking, anyway, I don't want to really go into the details of it, but I was fucking scotch taped. I was raped.
Yeah.
And
by
fucking two people, mate.
by the screws?
By one screw, and I believe a pedophile, because I never ever saw the other bloke in the prison. And that's the things that have come out over the years now. Is that what they used to do? They used to bring in the pedophiles, you know, and fucking, you know, so they're probably getting fucking paid for it. You know, so it was a filthy fucking rotten fucking place. All of them were. You know, fucking Derrick Boys Home, fucking all the Salvation homes, are fucking filthy places, mate.
I mean, there's only so much about this coming out now,
Yeah.
right, of all these instances. And there seems to be a common thread with a lot of guys that turned into violent criminals. A lot of this happened
Well,
to
it's
them.
either that or, you know, you went to Tamworth Boys Home and, you know, fucking for escaping or something, then you got treated like a fucking animal and battered to a pulp. And same with graft and intractable section. And they just come out, and most of them all turn fucking killers, and you know. But it dead set changed the course of my life. I became an extremely violent fucking kid after that, and I hunted fucking poofters, like, you know, in those ways. That's what we called them today. They're gay, and you know. And I realised that, like, as I grew older, I thought, what the fuck were you doing that for? Well, they're just fucking poofs. They weren't fucking pedos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'd hunt them out. I'd make myself a bait sitting in the park.
Would you just sit there on your own?
Just sit there on my fucking own in the park, let them come up. But sometimes I'd have a couple of blokes up in the tree, you know, and we'd fucking roll them as well. But, you know, I'd just fucking hack them up, you know. And I waited for these blokes that got me on the night shift. I waited for them outside Albion Street for 2 weeks. You know, I caught the train into town every night waiting for them. If they would have come out, I would have stabbed them with a carving knife that fucking long.
But you never got
You
them.
know, never got them. Because I remember there was a really big argument because another officer sprung them and fucking got right up them.
Yeah.
No, this is outside the door. And fucking, and I never saw the fucking bloke again. You know, a week later, I got fucking given a fucking 3-year bond or something like that.
Yeah, got out of that hell.
and I was released. But, you know, and I got out and it fucking changed me, mate, you know.
Yeah, you get out, but the trauma stays with you.
Oh, the trauma stayed with you. And you don't really think about it as you're growing, but when you look back, and I never spoke about it. Never spoke about it to me mother, me fucking mates, you know, because it was embarrassment. It was fucking, you know, probably no one would have fucking believed me. I wasn't going to go down and fucking say something to the fucking officer downstairs. He'd probably fucking involved with it. You know what I mean? So, you know, you really had nowhere to fucking turn, so you held it. And I didn't ever talk about it until I was about fucking, well, I'm 71 now, so about 3.5 years ago.
What changed that made you feel more comfortable about finally opening up about it?
Just that a mate of mine had talked about it, and he said, really, Graham, he said, they got to fucking pay, mate. Like, look what they did to me, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Because he knew something had happened to me. I'd explained something to him in the prison system.
Yep.
But I never got into detail, you know. And he said, I don't know what happened to you. He said, and if it was sexual or abuse, I said, well, what about every fucking, all three? Mental, physical, fucking, and sexual.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm going to make them pay. So, and so anyway, I've taken them to court. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do you think there's part of you that by you talking, you make it more easier for other guys to open up and say, okay, we can talk about this?
Yeah. You need to talk about it. You need to get it off you. I tell you, it was like a fucking weight coming off my fucking body when I did.
Really?
You know, I mean, it was hard to do. It was hard to do, especially I had to talk to a woman first, a lawyer. And, I just kept fucking cracking. I trying to hold me voice, I'd say, look, give us 15 minutes, call me back.
Yeah.
I'd have to get over it, and I drove out of the house to fucking go and do it, you know what I mean? Didn't want to talk there. And then, as I say, I never even told my wife over the years. She knew something had happened to me, but didn't know what. So, now she knows.
Do you think it also just adds context? Like when some people hear your kind of crazy life story, these kind of things just add a bit more context that it's not just the story of a violent man. It's that these incidents shape you into.
Oh, they certainly fucking hope they shape you.
Mm.
You know, I think all of that. I mean, some people have shit upbringings and turn out fucking good as gold and multi-millionaires and fucking But I always had it in my head. And I think because I lived on the street and I had to survive, I lived on the street a lot, and because of the violence at home, and and I learned to survive on the fucking streets by fucking stealing and breaking, and I always got taught by older blokes, about alarms and things like that. So I mean, there was a crew of us that used to run around as young blokes. And
did you learn that stuff in jail or on the streets?
No, on the streets, and by older blokes I knew from selling the papers in the pub.
Yep.
And, who I knew were scallywags. And, I'm talking blokes that were 30 years older than me, but they'd teach me about things. And then, as you go on, I progressed and got into other areas where so I became pretty elusive at things I did, and I was never ever got caught for breaking nanderies or fucking robberies or.
What were some of the skills, or the best skills that you had there?
Well, I'd say the breaking nanders, that I did, but not into houses and shit. I probably did that at 13 or something.
Yeah.
But, after that, like once I was about 15, 16, I started hitting like big factories and warehouses, and we were pinching the tanks, the safes, pulling them out of there. I used to we'd blow them up. We'd fucking do all sorts of fucking things. Sometimes the doors would slam open and slam back shut. And we ended up tying inner tubes to them and tie them to a tree and blow the shit out of them.
Wow. Just in a park or something?
Yeah, down in the bush at Epping or something.
Yep.
And, so we did all sorts of tricks like that. And then, as you get older, I started to learn a few more skills. And then I found out through a bloke who worked at Chubb, who was actually a bloke who went around when people tried to get into the banks and the vaults, and they used to, knock the tumblers off them and then jam them up with jelly and try and blow them, and then jam the door up. So, they put a rod through it and lift the lever up and spin the big wheel and open her up, right?
Yep.
Well, I learned off him that if they get jammed during all these sort of things, that someone's got to go there and fix them. And they had to also open them. So this bloke actually taught me a little trick in regards to them, but they had to be a particular
type of safe.
And I won't give away the secret because you never know.
Why not? You're going to go back to it?
And but there was just something on there that, all you had to need was a can of spray paint, and it would reveal a little hole on it.
Yeah, okay.
And you could punch that hole around, turn it sideways, and just lift the door.
Right.
But it would, they were certain old types of safes.
So you had to get it.
They don't do them anymore, of course.
Yeah, okay. So you had to get it jammed in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. And then
well, they used some of them to jam. During the course of these things, they could never open them. You know what I mean? So things like that. So they called in the safe crackers, and they'd be able to do it. So I learned off this bloke, and he was very fucking clever. He even taught me. Used to set up little things. This in a prison, and he'd set up a little dashboard. And he said, "Here's the light here. Now here's your door here." He'd set it up like a little factory, and you had to, do it the right way. If you didn't, the light would go on.
Wow.
Right? So he taught me all these little tricks about alligator clips going. Like in the old days, I used to have tripwires.
Yep.
So you'd always get the bottom wire and attach it to the top one, and keep the current flowing, and then put the next one onto the two middle ones, and that'd keep the current flowing. You could just lift it up and hop through. You know what I mean? So it was all sorts of little tricks like that. So
This is
I loved it.
crime school.
Yeah,
you know?
I loved it.
Yeah.
And
You learn.
you know, I come away with some good scores, and other times dud ones, and you know, but I always sniffed around for something bigger than anyone my age. Like there were still blokes my age that were sitting, you know, doing house busting, stealing TVs, and
And
carrying
you were
on,
like,
you
that's,
know.
that's small
And I was
potatoes
out,
to you.
You know, I was robbing fucking banks.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but you know, during the course of everything I've ever done, the main things I ever got caught for was violence.
Yeah.
You know, and I never went to prison for. I've been pinched for armed robberies, like armoured trucks and all that, but I've never been convicted of them.
Yeah. I mean, does that kind of piss you off that, like, the time you put in prison were the times that you shot yourself in the foot with a short fuse versus your actual profession, the skill that
Not
you
using your brain.
your trade.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, you know, that's right. I mean, it's like taking off your head and putting on a fucking pumpkin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good example, I think. You know what I mean? You know, your fucking brains are all fucking mushed. You know, if you're half full of piss and then someone upsets you and, you know, instead of just knocking him out or something, you know, go overboard. And because I lived in that life, I mean, you know, if I always showed that I was more fucking willing than the next bloke.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So and that made people don't mind a fucking stand-up fight and fucking punch on with anybody, you know, and I know plenty like that. But then there's real tough guys that are fucking horrified of violence, right? And violence is, you know, knives. I mean, I've even gone up to blokes and given them a fair go in the prison, threw down a knife at them and said, well, there's your fucking knife, pick it up and we'll go to the death. We'll go to the fucking finish.
Did he pick it up?
No, no, fucking shit themselves. But, you know, that's what I wanted to fucking, you know, and that they kept the fuck away from me. You know, and, you know, even my old partner in crime, I mean, they say he was this violent, fucking vicious fucking human being. I mean, he knew how fucking violent I was.
Yeah.
You know, I'd just push him out of the fucking way and hook into people, you know what I mean? Like, with something, you know what I mean? And we'd fucking certainly win the turnout, I can tell you, you know.
Did you care or did you feel anything when you were using knives?
No, I didn't give a fuck,
Yeah.
mate. No, I really didn't. I don't, you know, most of the blokes that I didn't do it against squareheads.
No.
You know, I was doing it against other fucking crooks and fucking, you know, if they were just loudmouths in fucking pubs, I'd probably just upend them. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, I'll remember one particular turnout happened in Newtown, particular race of people, and there was a big fucking turnout at this, was like a Greek nightclub.
Yep.
And we're all there, and they're terrific nights, the old Greek nightclubs. They used to have them in Newtown, a lot of them, you know. And we're all there, and anyway, we ended up, the show was over, and went downstairs into the bar part. This other big crew was there of people, and they were all big mothers. And anyway, they put it on, and one of them produced a knife. Well, that was the fucking end of them, you know. So we just chopped into them with everything we had, you know.
What did you have?
I just made an exit outside and just came back in with some other weapons. And
what, you had them in the car or something?
Yeah, mate,
Your
always
whole
carried
arsenal.
them. Always carried them.
Yeah, so what were you packing in there?
Oh, mate, we had guns. We had fucking, you know, I mean, the police knew we carried them. The police knew I carried a gun in my bum bag every day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, but, you know, we had that fucking protection there from slinging them so much that no one would pinch us.
It took longer to choose a weapon in your car than it did to actually use it on the person.
Yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'd just grab anything, you know. Like, you know, if we were outnumbered, I'd just say, well, we're going to fucking slaughter these blokes. So, and that's what happened, you know. I actually run into one of them about 10, 15 years ago now. He said, you remember me? I said, no. And he went, lifted up his shirt, and I went, well, I still don't fucking know who you are.
Yeah, which, be specific.
He told me. Then he told me. I said, oh, well, mate, you just fucking produced them, you know. I said, so you got back what you fucking pulled out. So, you know, as I say, we didn't go around and pick our fucking mark or, you know, we were trying to have a good night. you know, but there's always some fucking imbecile, and that's the way it was.
Yep.
You know,
Seems like
the macho world, mate.
yeah, that there was something whenever you saw guys that wanted to be hard men talk shit or want to start something, you were happy to meet them face to face.
Yeah, 100%.
So tell me about the path to you first meeting Arthur Nettie Smith. So where did you guys first meet?
Met him in Parramatta Jail.
Yeah.
About 1974.
Yep.
I think he got released about 1974, late in 74. Might have been 73 I first met him.
Mm-hmm.
And he worked in the clinic in Parramatta Jail, him and his mate Bobby Chapman.
Yep.
And who he'd grown up with in childhood. They were both pinched together for rape. I met him in there. He was a big towering bloke, had a reputation, you know, that he could hold his hands up. But I didn't have a great deal to do with him in there, I must say. And it wasn't until about 75, 76, I ran into him in the Grosvenor Hotel on Parramatta Road.
Yep.
Just down from the coroner's court there. Why I'd remember that, I don't know. But anyway, we were down. I run into him there, and then we started getting around together. Well, just at the time, him and his mate had been pinched on a robbery, and yet he was out. He was out, and his mate was locked up. I remember the first night we were running around trying to raise bail for him. And then, anyway, he got no bail, and he got 13 years, and they'd got through the break, and the fucking radar antennas went up in my head, of course, and I quizzed him over it.
Yeah.
And he said, I paid the fucking police. He said, I paid Rogerson. That was in 1976. So this is long before people think that he was given information or, you know. But that was 1976. So next minute, Rogerson got up on behalf of him moving in the court and fucking broke down the charges that he was on and gave evidence on his behalf. And
on behalf of Nettie?
On behalf of Nettie.
Yeah.
And so you don't do that unless you're fucking very fucking sweet. But he said he paid for that to happen. Right? Well, when you know a bloke and a big tough guy as you're growing up and you probably think, well, he fucking might have. I said, well, why didn't you pay for your fucking mate? He said he wanted to fight on his own. I couldn't fucking believe that, you know what I mean? And
it seems a bit hard to believe when you've got a cop in your pocket. Yeah.
So, you know, I just sniffed around it for a little while, really, and then I thought I'll test him out one day, and I went and confronted him, and I said, well, listen, we'll go and I've got a robbery. I said, we'll go and fucking do it. I remember driving along the car, we're coming down through Broadway, and he said to me, if you ever rat on me, he said, I'll kill you. I said, well, there's a double-sided coin to that, mate, because I'll right back at you, son.
Yeah.
Right? You ever do it to me, I'll fucking do it to you. So that's how we started their relationship. So
yeah, threatening to kill each other.
Yeah. So it went from fucking there, and next month we were into all sorts of things. Well, when he was hardly earning any money at all at the time, and the bloke that he was running with was selling heroin, but he was hitting it with palfium powder, and it used to jam up in people's needles and fucking, right? So I ended up taking a fucking pound of this one day, and I fucking whooped it to some place and gave it to this person. They said, it's fucking full of palfium. So I took it back. And he said, you got to pay for that. I said, be fucked, I will be.
Yeah.
He said, no. He said, that's mine on this bloke here. I said, you're a fucking flying fuck. I'm not paying for it.
Was this Danny Chubb? Was this Danny Chubb? Is that
No. No, we only sold the good stuff.
Okay.
You know, we didn't cut it.
Yep.
This was a street bloke.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I had to go at the bloke in the fucking thing and put him on show, and he left the company. And I said, get the right stuff, and I'll do it.
We'll do it, yeah.
And we started doing those sort of things, and then we started doing, you know, robberies and fucking, you know, knocking off, you know, all sorts of fucking things.
Yep. So when this situation happened where Nettie essentially had this green light from the police, was that to do both armed robberies and to run heroin, or was just anything?
Well, Well, he didn't really have anyone from the drug squad that I'm aware of. But look, say the situation came that someone was pinched with something, then you could probably do some business.
Yep.
But it was pretty hard to get the drug squad on side unless you were fucking giving them, info or something.
Yep.
So
essentially,
and Ned just mainly had Roger at the time, he was either in the breaker squad then or the, like they were the big tough guys or the armed robbery squad. So, and if he was in one squad and then the armed robbery squad that was there, he'd say, look, go and see that detective.
Yep.
So we'd go and see him and just say, listen, this is a bad spot to get out of, this fucking place. We just need you to be there, right? When we do the robbery, you just make sure you take over it, because most of the time we had fucking terrific disguises, but we never usually ran in with balaclavas.
Yep. So what kind of disguises did you have? You had
we had
armoured
the proper
gun.
stuff. We used to buy them from the weirdo shop, or sometimes we'd get them from people that had studios that were for actors' equity, and all right. So we'd put the special glue on, put the hair on, then we'd trim it all down to get it all trimmed, and then it'd just peel off in one big go. But then we had other stuff that'd make it come off. So if you ever got tested, your skin got tested,
It wouldn't have the
glue
residue.
was gone. You know what I mean? So, we did things like that. We carried fucking, and I always insisted that even when we were doing robberies, that I carry a little pack of things if someone got wounded in the leg or something. We could
first
fucking
aid
fix
kit.
it up. First aid kit. Always had it.
It sounds like with all this stuff, there was, even though you had essentially a green light from the cops to do it, there was still a shitload of planning and strategy that went into all this stuff, right?
Fucking 100%. You had to get it down pat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still could have been caught doing it by other jacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, the only reason we ever used them, Ned liked to try and use them all the time, and I'd say, what do you want to use them for? Oh, I don't want to fucking pay them.
Yeah.
They're not fucking doing it. But only on 2 that I ever did with him, there was any money ever changed hands that I'm aware of. But as I told the ICAC many years ago, when they tried to get me, they said, well, and they pressured me for 2.5 years by holding me in solitary, and they said, well, you must have, Ian Temby said to me, who was the QC, the commissioner of the inquiry, he said, well, you must have seen Ned pay the police after all those years you run with him for 10 years. And I went, never seen that take place in my life. And he said, why do you think that is? I said, because he liked to keep everyone to himself. Of course that was a fucking lie. Yeah. But, I was there to cover my ass and because he was fucking rolled on me.
Yeah.
And fucking, and I protected other people. And one of the blokes I protected tried to knock me. You know what I mean? So
Tough way to
you know what I mean? So that's the way they were. Just fucking, it's a treacherous fucking life, mate.
Isn't it?
It fucking was. And, you had to keep your back up. And even when I ended up, I run with Ned until about 86.
Yep.
And, like people say all this green light all the fucking time. And like, we never knew it as a green fucking light. Like it was just the same as what Lenny and that had, same as the mafia would have. It's just corruption.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. Now, I remember.
It was just pay for play.
Yeah,
right?
you know what I mean? And like people said, oh, yeah, well, Ned was giving up blokes left, right. I said, well, name one bloke he ever gave up. I said, Roger Rogerson was pulled in on TV by Ray Martin on Channel 9. And he said, okay. This is when Ned got run over. He said, well, if Ned Smith's your informant, name us someone that he's fucking given up. And he went, he couldn't fucking answer. Couldn't fucking answer. Not that he didn't want to. He wanted to fucking name someone, but he fucking couldn't.
Yeah.
So the fact behind the matter was that I don't know what he did in the first place with Bob and what the deal was that went on behind the scenes when they got pinched for the armed robbery, and one went to jail and one didn't.
Yep.
I don't know what he did there, So, but he might have told the fucking story of what really fucking happened. I got no fucking idea. But all I know is this. I've never ever seen him do it. And it wasn't until really the ICAC inquiry and 9 months prior to me even going to jail that I found out a bit that he was getting taken out of the jail all the time and talking about fucking crimes. And I thought, oh, fuck me. Well, my ass started going like that because I thought, run with him for 10 years. And I run with my own fucking team after that. And like against him and fucking and doing robberies and all sorts of fucking tricks. But where was I fucking heading with that? What was I fucking talking about? Went off the fucking rails there.
You were talking about the
too many fights, mate. Too many fights.
So when you were doing these armed robberies with this crew, how many were in your crew typically for the armored trucks?
We'd have 3 or 4.
Yep.
And
so what were you looking for? What made the right? What was the right fit for a robbery?
Well, the right fit for a robbery was the size of the fucking tin.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, we could go around and follow them. Well, just for instance, say there was Lane Cove used to have a main depot.
Yep.
And they'd have LC on the back with their fucking numbers, right? So we'd go to there and say, right, your job's to follow that one, you follow that one, all day, follow it all day. Just sit off it. Mark down the size of them, mark down that.
Size of the bags that are coming out of the bank?
Yeah. So that was my main fucking job. I always was onto it. I'd just do it out of the blue. I'd just go down on my own. When I lived up the coast, I'd drive down wherever I was and I'd go and do the homework on them. So I'd follow them. I could nearly tell by the tins what was diversely in there, you know what I mean? I mean, the small skinny ones about that long had about 35, 40 grand in them, and you could tell by the factories anyway, And then I'd just look at them and go, whoa, hello, that's a bug. I'm carrying that in a duffel bag. You know what I mean? So there's a big fucking quid there. So, and this is before they started changing it over to pay slips, but a lot of that was starting to happen around them times, around the 80s. They started to swap over, especially waterfront blokes, but there was a lot that still get the cash. I mean, one of the robberies we did, I'll go for an instance, and it's common knowledge because it came out in the ICAC, so I can talk about it. Right, was out at this is one of the ones that Ned talked about, and fucking, I had to fucking stick my head in and fucking cover me fucking ass for it, and everyone fucking else.
Yep.
Right, but on this particular day there was just me and him. But someone had come to us and said, "Look, there's 750,000 out of Port Botany." Right, it comes in the armour truck, deliver it, take it in the office. Then it's taken up in 2 boxes upstairs and everyone picks up their pay during the day shift and the night shift, Okay, so I watched them for a while and out they come with these fucking boxes, just fucking boxes, just jammed with envelopes, I went, fuck, have a look at this. So anyway, so just prior to it, the bloke had come up to us and said, listen, he said, all I want out of it is 50,000.
Yep.
I said, 50,000. I said, all right, good as gold.
Seems like a fair trade.
So he said, so I'll be in there when it happens. What happened to him, unfortunately, was that he went and bought a boat, him and 2 other blokes. They bought a big cruiser. And I don't know if they all put in for it. He got it on a loan and they were going to pay it off later or however they did. I got no idea.
He bought a boat with money he hadn't got yet.
That he hadn't got yet, Never count it before you get it, right? So it's an old fucking old trick. But so anyway, out they go out to Botany. They're out on there. They're smoking pot all day and they left the motor on. They must have been fishing early or whatever they were doing, cruising around. But they left the blowers on. They didn't put the blowers on, I mean, and it's not clearing the fumes. So they ended up dead.
The boat blew up?
Yeah, no, they ended up dead
the
through the fumes.
Oh, shit.
They were smoking that much pot. They were fucking nodding off in the fumes, fucking killed them.
Fucking hell.
So next minute, everything went into chaos and we went, oh, fucking jeez, the fucking paymaster's fucking loaf of bread, right? So,
well, that's one less person to pay.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. So I said, anyway, well, let's keep doing the homework. So anyway, we started doing it. I said, right, come on, I'm not waiting any fucking longer. So we went and got a car done, got it made out like an armoured guard with fucking numbers on it. Bloke painted it perfect for us. El Smicko, had all the things hand sewn, the armoured guard things. We had the same clothes on as them. They came out and drove up the road, give us a wave as they were going past. They thought we were a backup car.
Yep.
And we just drove in after they did, made sure they went right up the fucking road. Then we went whoosh straight in, just in case they got on the radio. And fucking knocked on the door and they looked through. Well, they could see the armed guard things on our shoulder. Opened up the doors because it had security locks on it. Opened it up and we just went in and got them on the floor. I said, Ned, you look after them. And then I've just opened up the fucking the safe and I'm hunting through there. Well, there's one box and I'm looking for the other fucking box and it's fucking not there.
Yeah.
Thinking, well, so I said, and they said, it's been changed over, mate. They're getting pay slips, right? He said, so fucking, anyway, cut a long story short, we get outside and we piss off. And Ned actually fucking took off on me and fucking got outside.
But you're expecting 750 grand.
Yeah, I'm expecting 750.
How much was in there?
So we ended up coming away with about 175, 180 grand, like in cash. No, it still wasn't a bad fucking morning's work.
No.
But we went up the road and we parked, got out, and the detectives that Ned had fucking paid drove down the fucking street and just give us a fucking wave. And I went, this is fucking pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, how often's that fucking happen? So anyone who didn't want to play a fucking game that way was a fucking imbecile.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, why would you want to be fucking getting caught and chased and hunted and fucking...
When you can have them in your pocket.
So, when you can, can graft them for everything you want to fucking do.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we did. So we fucking paid when we had to. As I say, he wanted to pay them all the time. He was always fucking trying to feather their nest and get them all on side and,
But you were of the mind
I
that
didn't want to.
you only did it when you absolutely needed to.
Yeah, if it was a really hard place to get out of.
Yeah, okay. If
You know
it was an
what I
easy
mean?
one, you thought
Yeah,
not necessary.
I'd go not necessary, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I never used them before I ever got with him. So,
Yeah.
I didn't
And
really need them. I thought I was, good enough and smart enough to keep me wits about me on jobs.
Yep.
And I knew that I'd never shoot one fucking dead. If they went for their gun, well, I'd probably put one in their leg if I had to.
Yep.
But I wasn't going there to kill unless they were trying to fucking put me down.
Kill
of
you
course.
then. Yeah.
And but we also had a rule that if you were severely fucking wounded, severely, then you're fucking staying there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if you were shot in the fucking chest,
If you're too much of a liability,
we're putting another one in you.
better than that than losing.
You
Then
know,
everyone get fucked.
And that was a rule. And I said, you either accept it or don't run with me, mate. So they're the fucking rules.
Did you ever? What was it like in the morning when you were preparing to do one of these jobs? Did you feel nerves? Did you feel alive?
Yeah, you
What
get
was it
little bit
excitement?
anxious.
What did it feel like?
Yeah, a little bit in between, I suppose.
Yeah.
You're a little bit edgy and always on the ball to make sure, from the destination you're leaving, that no one's on you, that, every part of the journey you got to fucking watch, even when you've got away with it, And
I mean, what does that feel like when you know that you feel like you're home, you're safe, and you've got the cash?
Oh, well, that's when it sets in and you have a fucking
Party?
high five about it and a
Yeah.
fucking laugh and go and celebrate and have a drink. But most of the time I'd piss off and just go up the coast and make sure I secured it and put it away.
Back to your wife?
Fucking somewhere around the area and get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then I'd come back down and go and meet up with a few of the boys and have a drink, you know what I mean? Just with a few grand in my pocket, not fucking...
Not the whole
Not
bundle.
the whole
Yeah.
hustle, so...
And how long would it be then before you're like, oh, it's time to look at another job? What was the...
Oh, probably
How
every 3 months,
Okay.
say an armoured van or a fucking, payroll robbery or whatever. But
And was the heroin running at the same time as
heroin
this?
was running at the same time, so we had probably about 10 distributors.
How lucrative was that?
And, very,
Yeah.
bigger than the robberies on most occasions.
Um,
You know what I mean? I mean, just £1 in those days, which was called Tie 4, you could fucking break down 4 times and fucking and sell it for 80 to 90,000 a pound. You know what I mean? So that was fucking massive money for what we were paying for it. We were paying 15 for it. You know what I mean? So there was a pretty big markup.
Yep. I've always been of the mind. I'm much less I'm more risk averse than you. I'd be thinking the heroin's enough. Why do you need a risk? You know, things
I
could
think
go
it was
so
more
wrong.
the adrenaline too,
Yeah.
and you know.
Yeah, okay, you could get addicted.
It was
to
just
the
part of the
robberies.
go. I mean, it was what I liked doing. You know, I especially liked them. And so, you know, in the end, after a couple of attempts on my life out of that fucking gang, and they tried to get rid of me, I moved on and went to another gang. Well, I started to, you know, that's all I virtually fucking did, that, and, you know, and the gear, a bit of coke or fucking whatever. But, you know, well, we lived quite comfortably, you know. But there were good days and bad days, of course.
It sounds like this period when you were running around with Nettie Smith, where there was just a lot of boozing, right? There was a lot of drinking in
Typical
pubs.
Australian, mate.
Yeah, typical Australian. But it sounds like from what I could read that there was just
that's all been blown out of proportion, mate. You know.
The chaotic pub crawls.
You read that one, the fucking pub crawl of Sydney, most dangerous pub crawl in Australia. And, well, I don't know when that happened, but, you know, we didn't go from this pub, and just destroy people. It might have happened a month before it, and a month later, and a month later down there.
Yeah, okay. So it was just,
you know,
they make it sound like it all
make
happened
it
in
sound
one,
like it happened in one fucking day or something.
But it was just a lot of making cash and then just partying, boozing. When guys got lippy, you'd bash them. You know, there was
there was a little bit of chaos like that. But I'll tell you something about the mainly the fights would be caused through fucking Ned bringing his girlfriend with him, and she'd be, you know,
chatting to a bloke,
little young Sheila hanging off his arm. And someone would say something, how's your father going? Or, you know, what are you doing out with your father? And bang, well, that'd be on.
Set him off.
You know, like one night we bashed two coppers. Ned knocked out one copper, and then he went to stab him. And it caught up in his jumper. So he was pretty lucky. And I just run over. The other one yelled out, officer down, and run over and told the bloke behind the bar to call the cops, the local cops down the rocks. And I just run over and went fucking crash, and I said, make that two. And, you know, so, you know, well, they were funny fucking times. I mean, they were all, they were cops from the water police.
Yeah, okay.
You know, all used to drink down the rocks.
Yeah.
So, you know, look, you know, it was always mainly over Ned and his Sheila that would cause these brawls. Otherwise, people would fucking steer fucking wide of us, mate. They all knew who we were.
Yep.
And no one wanted to fucking take us on.
Well, particularly, I mean, you guys are both big fellas, right?
Yeah, but there was always a fucking crew of us. I mean, you know, and like everyone that was in the team, that team especially, that I ended up throwing blokes into the gang that, you know, I knew from prison and knew that were fucking willing, you know, that they'd all kill you. Everyone in that gang would kill you. One or two gophers that we had. I call them gophers because they were blokes would say, go for this, go for that, do this, do that, go and drop this here, drop them guns there, fucking, you know. That's why go and pinch us a car. You know, they were the gophers. So the rest of them were, you know, I mean, they did their job and they got paid for it well. But
I mean, it sounds like a lot of quite a few of the guys who were running heroin for you guys ended up either dead or missing. I mean, yeah, it sounds like a lot of the guys.
There's a lot of look, because greed sets in. You know what I mean? Greed sets in. They start fucking knocking you up and start robbing you, and you know, I had one bloke in particular. He actually wrote into the paper. This bloke years later, but he never disclosed himself, like who he was to the papers that I know of. But he robbed me once, and I liked the bloke. And I said, mate, you do that a fucking again, and I'm going to fucking hurt you. So he did it again, like months later.
At gunpoint?
No, just fucking dipping.
Yeah, okay.
Dipping into it.
Oh,
you know?
Yep.
And he was punting it. He was gambling it.
Yep.
So I said, listen, you only get one more fucking warning. So I fucking battered him. I batted into a fucking pulp.
I mean, 2 warnings seems to be
That was
very
it.
generous
I
anyway.
said the next warning's your last fucking warning, mate.
Yeah.
I won't fucking tell you. Anyway, lo and behold, fucking did it again. He kept, oh, mate, I'm fucking... Well, it was too late. Anyway, I put him in a fucking sleeper roll and fucking knocked him out and put him in the fucking boot of the car and fucking whooped him off. We changed him over into another thing. This is just me, right? Another bloke was just waiting for me. I threw it into the thing. It was already a hole fucking done, right?
Yep.
I went out and I fucking put him in it and I fucking put one in him, right? Standing above him and next fucking minute a spotlight hit me. This is in the night.
Yeah.
And they were people that looked after the national park.
And you've got a body in a
With
hole.
a big fucking...
Yeah.
So I had to fucking hightail it. You know, they hit me with a spotlight, so I fucking bowled it. And I thought where I'd fucking put one in him that he'd be probably fucking off anyway. So I fucking took off and anyway, lo and behold, he fucking... I didn't even hear anything fucking about it, right? Nothing was fucking said, nothing... Didn't see anything in any papers.
You were expecting to hear about a body
exactly.
in the news and it,
You know what
and it
I
was
mean?
nothing.
Yeah, and I didn't hear a fucking thing. I thought, oh, that's a bit fucking weird. So I thought I'm not going to sniff around about it and start asking some of the coppers that were on side, you know, because we had coppers from the homicide and...
That's going to make you prime
You know
suspect
what I mean?
if you're asking
that's
questions
right.
about it,
You know
right?
what I mean? So I'm not going to put myself in, otherwise I'll be putting their fucking hand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and trying to snip you. So,
But it must have been scratching your head thinking, what the fuck's going on
yeah,
here?
I was.
Yeah.
And then years later, when I wrote the fucking book, this bloke fucking emerges and writes to the fucking paper, and he said, no, he said he gave me 3 warnings. He said he said it was me who did the wrong fucking thing. I still take my hat off to him to this day. He said that I'm still fucking here. And fuck, mate, I couldn't fucking believe he was fucking even around. But
So-
I thought something strange must have happened, you know. That
So what happened when you thought you put one in him? What did it miss or did it
no,
like?
fucking went right in him, went right.
But it just didn't kill him.
I know it went in his chest. So.
But it just didn't kill him.
No, it didn't kill him. So,
Yeah.
so, you know, there might have been something in the paper somewhere that said a bloke got shot, or it might have even been on you, but, you know, I didn't fucking hear it. But I was fucking going through it. In those days, I think it was a Daily Mirror, fucking going through it, having a fucking browse, you know, but nothing. And, you know, I mean, could have quite easily just gone to a homicide bloke and said, you know, do you hear about this out there and blah, 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 and fucking slung him. But I didn't want to fucking open up a can of worms, you know, and so I just let it go. Anyway, he survived. So half his luck. I actually liked the bloke anyway. He just had a bad fucking gambling habit, you know. And,
I mean, but he must have had a death wish if he's crossing you 3
he
times.
just kept on fucking, you know. Like I'm pretty fucking fair, you know.
I'd say
You
there's a
know?
lot of people wouldn't give someone 3 strikes in
No,
that kind
there's
of
no
business,
way in the
right?
fucking world, you know. But I knew that he was, you know, he wasn't a dangerous bloke or a, you know, but he was willing enough, you know. But he wasn't dangerous in the way that he'd fucking want to take you out of play. But I think he underestimated the fucking, you know, or he took advantage of me kindness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he thought, I can fucking skin me, give me a fucking punch the shit out of me, but I'll handle that. Well, you know, that was never going to happen. And I couldn't allow it to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was putting myself in a vulnerable fucking position that anyone who robbed me after that was just going to fucking walk through the brakes. So
Absolutely.
I had to make a fucking example of people. So everyone in our crew knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and that's the way it was. But he was lucky he's still here. So,
Very lucky.
but you know, as far as the other blokes, I guess they found out what they wanted to call Nettie Smith Drive. I don't know fucking why, because you know, at the end of the day, Nettie was never the one that ever shot anyone. Nettie might have knocked a fucking bloke here and there, but you know, it was usually by putting them in a sleeper hold and a couple of women, and but he never ever shot anyone, ever. Not in the whole 10 years I was with him, that's for sure. But, you know, people did go missing. I remember, you know, like Harvey Jones. Like they say Harvey Jones and Ned did a life sentence for it.
Yeah.
But
So
Ned never killed him.
Yeah. So
You know?
he went missing, and then they found his body
Yeah,
years
they
later.
found his body just amazingly during the ICAC investigation when he'd rolled on the police.
Yeah.
Right? And that's because they paid, they got an informant called Les Motto, who went under the alias of Mr. Green in those days in the newspaper. And he actually got into the company. I mean, he was a fitness coach for Cronulla and Cronulla Sharks and all that sort of stuff. And he reckoned he made money out of sports drinks. But the truth was he got paid $400,000 off another criminal called Victor Spinks. And Victor Spinks paid him $400,000 on behalf of a task force, right, that was hunting Eddie Smith for all these murders, right? And so they got him on side. He paid Les Motto the $400,000 because he had millions, right?
Yeah.
And he'd been pinched on a big blue and he wanted to get a few years off it. So he did 9 years and the rest of his gang did 14, right? He's dead now. He died of an ice overdose, I believe.
Yep.
So, and he was fucking 70 or something, But he still had a house in Rose Bay at the time worth $6.9 million. So the coppers allowed him to keep a lot of his property. You know what I mean? So there was no doubt that, exactly what I'm telling you is the facts. So
he gave up.
So
his
he gave
information
Motto the money. Motto got up in the court behind a screen because he was too scared to look at Ned.
Yep.
Got it behind a screen and fucking gave evidence. I mean, how they even allowed that is fucking beyond me.
And that's what got Nettie locked
and
up.
Nettie got locked because when the real shooter who killed fucking Nettie came back to the Star Hotel in Botany where Ned was when the killing took place, and he'd set it up for him to go because coppers had come and fronted him because he'd been running around shooting up nightclubs and over at North Sydney, a nightclub called Sheila's. So the coppers went to him and said, listen, mate, you created this fucking pest. And he was a pest, likeable bloke, but a fucking pest. And he said, you've got to fucking fix this problem up. So Ned G'd him up, told him to come down. He said, listen, I can get you through the break on that gold bullion you pinched on. He said, it'll cost you $50,000. So he turned up with a $50,000. He said, while you're here, you can earn that money back. We're going to do a rip-off tonight. Now, I can't go because the bloke knows me, but you can go with the boys. It's just out of Botany. So that's where he went. He thought he was going out to do a rip-off and meet these fucking blokes, and he met his end out there. Now, of course, Les Motto knows the honest truth, and so does the shooter. So he was laughing, and he got through the break, and Ned got life for it, And
it seems like there's a lot of those stories from back in the 80s of guys being in with crews and being sent to go somewhere for a certain thing or to meet someone in an alleyway and then they meet their end.
That's right, If I was going to meet anyone, mate, it would have been in Cole's cafeteria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At lunchtime.
But
But
it sounds like you're the people that were most likely to be your end were people that you'd had a beer with a week later.
Oh, fucking 100%. You had to watch everyone around you, mate. Because as I said, the life's full of fucking egos and greed, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And any young blokes out there thinking they want to travel down the road, there's no fucking glory in it, buddy. And, you do it because, I think I was fucking born into the life, so I just fucking stayed in it. I mean, I didn't have any other skills or, I was pretty intelligent at school. I'd fucking top my class in high schools and all that fucking shit, but I just fucking found me other fucking go was doing that, and I enjoyed it. And
I think that's the important part. You enjoyed what you were doing.
I did enjoy what I was doing. But, I enjoyed rather doing the fucking robberies and things and skullduggery stuff than fucking just selling fucking drugs. I mean, any dickhead can do that. Fucking babies can fucking do it. You know what I mean? You just don't there's no highs or lows in it. You know what I mean? There's a fucking bit of a high, I guess, when you see the fucking money fucking flowing in, but it's not the same fucking effect. When you plan something and maybe dig a fucking tunnel and goes for 100 yards and you come up under a safe and drill a hole through it.
Yeah, there's a bit of artistry to it, right?
A bit of fucking artistry to it. And you come away with it and you go, I love fucking hallelujah.
That huge high.
You know what I mean?
Fucking the big high of a plan coming together.
Yeah. It was like Cockatoo Island when we did that, 780 grand there, and people think there was 300 and fucking 80,000 or something.
What was on the island?
Cockatoo Island was a place where they built ships, did a lot of shipwright stuff, and the Navy was also there, and so there was a big payroll that went over there, and I just happened to spring it one day. I just went somewhere. I used to like to get somewhere and just have a bit of a meditation before I was going places, or just sit by myself and just contemplate the outcome of the day, right? Sometimes I think, well, I've got to go and meet these blokes today. Let me see if I fucking get any vibes off it, Anyway, I happened to just go down to Hunters Hill, Woolwich Pier, where it was nice and fucking calm and relaxing. And just sat there where all the ferries pull in and take you to the city. So I was just sitting there, and next minute I see this van pull up, big armoured truck, and then out jumps this bloke with a big fucking gun strapped to his side like fucking Wide Earp, about 6'5", big motherfucker, Got out and had a look around the joint, looked in the toilets, looked behind the fucking building. And what happened, the boat used to come over from Cockatoo Island, and they'd pick up the armed guards. The armed guards would go over there, they'd fucking do the pays, and they'd come back up in the truck and off they'd go.
Yep.
So I thought, fucking have a look at this. Anyway, when they got out with the 10, well, I went, well, there's a good drink in that.
Yep.
So a lot of these places, especially in those days, and, had a lot of black money. There was ghost workers, and there were fucking blokes that they paid for the painters and dockers, and, that weren't really there. And, that's how things work. So
I was in invisible cash.
Invisible, yeah. That's not supposed to be in the tin.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so when we, and I knew that there was fucking plenty in there because I had someone on the inside, right? And so anyway, the day came, and so I went and fucking had a talk to the boys. I watched it for a little while, and quite a while. And I went to do it with another bloke at one stage, and Ned, even fucking Ned, because these other blokes weren't around at the time. They'd gone away somewhere. And I thought, oh, go and fucking get him. So I brought him over. I said, do you want to fucking do this? I said, we're not the best of fucking friends, but you don't have to fucking like someone to earn a
to
quid
work with them,
right?
Yeah.
So I said, do you want to do it? He said, yeah, as long as I can bring this copper into it. I said, no fucking copper's coming into it. So I dropped him off. I brassed him over it, right? I said, no way in the world.
Did that piss him off?
I just left him out of it. I didn't, I wasn't running around with him anyway.
Yeah.
So I just fucking left him wide and didn't go and see him again.
Yeah.
And if I did bypass, I'd just say, I haven't had a look at it of late,
Yeah.
or there's been a bit of smell around it or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, but as it turned out, there was a bit of a smell around it. And I don't know if maybe one of the guards got a bit toey one day that someone was having a peg at him. But we'd always sit off them. I don't know what brought it on. It might have been that one of the blokes got followed, maybe even me. Maybe they had a tag on one of the cars I was in. Anyway, I remember a helicopter hanging around this day, and I said, come on, we're going. So just hop in the car, and we drove right out to Parramatta. When we got out at Parramatta, helicopter was still above us. So I dropped off it. I dropped off it for a year, right? And then I went bang, snuck back down, and I went and got the boys. I said, go and get a boat.
What do you think brought the heat?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been just someone got tagged there, and then they saw the van and they thought, hello, they're sniffing around there. They put a tag on us. So I dropped off the other blokes, and I'm glad I did in a way because they were a bit hectic, these blokes, on robberies.
And they were doing too many, or they were just hotheads?
They were just hectics. They were a bit hectic when they'd run in. One was a bull-headed bloke, and if you'd say I'd probably have to put one in the prick. You know what I mean? Because, so I thought, no, I need the fucking crew that I always got. So waited till they were back in town, and then I said, come on. So I took them down, showed them, and then we went and had to put our heads together. And I said, right up, well, there's only one road out of here, and it goes for miles and miles up to Hunters Hill. Right?
Yep.
So it's a bad fucking road. So we've got to fucking sniff around here. So there's only one way out, boys, and that's by fucking water.
Yeah.
Right? But I said, how are we going to approach this? Because it's in a cul-de-sac. It's right on the wharf. You know, they walk out on the wharf. And then one of the blokes fucking sat there and he said, well, what about we dress up as painters? And I went,
That'll work.
fucking good thinking, Ollie.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I said, all right, that's what we'll fucking do. So we had a couple of little practice fucking goes, watched it. I said, righto. So we got a boat, had it fucking sat there.
You had some practice. You had some practice goes at what going down as painters.
Yeah, just going down. No, just hanging around when they're there and looking casual.
Yep.
Just fucking, you know, seeing what they were like and what this big guard was like and if he was, you know. But I knew by all the cases that I'd known had happened over the years that they're not even allowed to unbutton their gun. You know what I mean? This bloke had it in a big holster, but they've got to be buttoned down, right? So they've always got to pop it if there's a fucking problem. So you're always on them. Once you're fucking ready, you fucking got them. So I watched them walk out on the wharf and we've got it all down pat. And I said, right, this is what they do. This is how it goes. And I said, we'll be out here painting and fucking, and I said, anyway, while we were there on this fucking day, now on this one, we ended up getting a copper on side. And I said, just be on guard. And I said, I'm going to give him a curveball here. I said, when we're leaving, there's only one way entrance out of here, mate. So we're going all the way to Hunters Hill. So make sure the fuck you take over this robbery. That you're at Hunters Hill and you're the first on the scene when you hear it over the radio.
Got it.
All right?
Yep.
Because that's not the way I'm fucking going. So it was just it was a double fucking thing for me for confidence and to fucking make sure he didn't turn.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it was the first time I'd used him, even though the other blokes had, right? I said, all right, you've called the shot, so if you're wrong, you'll fucking pay the price, right? So anyway, so we turned up down there and fucking down they came and the copper was sitting up, just up in the local fucking pub and he was waiting for it. And anyway, as I was sitting there, I fucking walked up to the car to get something. And everyone's just dressed in the overalls, got the paintbrushes, the paint tins, got the grouse clear covered gloves on, you know, and which wasn't unusual when you're painting and fucking. But here's the council bloke sitting there in the fucking truck, and they said after it, who the fuck are these blokes? You know, like, they're doing our job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
they're scratching
it
their head
was
at you
a
guys.
wonder they didn't get out and try and quiz us, you know.
Yeah.
Would have been fucking handy. So anyway, next fucking minute, the fucking coppers pull up.
Fuck.
And he pulled up just before the fucking vans arrived. And I'm thinking, I fucking should be here in a sec. Anyway, they pull up and he said, mate, that fucking car's in the bus stop there. I said, hey, I'll move it, mate. I'll move it now. So I go up like I was a fucking old wog, right?
Yeah.
And they said, I just drop off the mate to the boys and I go and I'll fucking move it. It's all right, mate, just piss it off. Fucking bang, down around they go, just stop down, had a little bit of a look at the water, off they go.
Yep.
Up the fucking road, they take off. So I went, I better go and fucking look. So I hopped in the car and fucking up the road, fucking followed them. They kept going all the way through. And down comes the fucking van. So I waited when it went past and I saw the backup car go with it, you know, with Wide Earp in it, you know, the one with the big gun. And the coppers just kept going. So I went whoosh around and got on this phone that we had and fucking I rang the fucking local police station at fucking Gladesville and told them that there was a fucking terrible car accident and I might have killed someone, right?
Yep.
So fucking naturally, all the local fucking jacks would have fucking been
Heading there.
you know, Prince Alfred. So I said on the corner of Victoria Road and Prince Alfred Street, where Lenny McPherson used to live, right? So Prince Henry Street or whatever it was called.
Yep.
So anyway, down they fucking, I'm sure they all went there. So next fucking minute, turned around, went down, fucking bang. They get out, do their normal fucking thing, and boys are out there fucking painting, and we waited till they got in between us, and then bang, just dropped the paintbrushes, fucking whack, got that. You know, there was no DNA or anything. Everything was fucking picked up by one bloke. Whoosh, bang, 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 bang. Right? Everything was cleaned up. We hopped into the fucking ute, just got them down. It was fucking easy as pie. Away we fucking went. Got down the road. Well, what had happened, I'd found this fucking boat shed, and it looked like fucking. I didn't think anyone ever fucking put a boat in it.
Yep.
So I opened it up and we drove the fucking car in there. I didn't find it for 2.5 years.
Wow.
Right. So I just hopped into the boat, went straight across to fucking Lane Cove, hopped out there, made our escape that side, and off goes the fucking boat. I put a stick on the fucking steering wheel and the fucking the throttle. We turned her on full bucking bore and sent her straight up the fucking thing. So anyway, and it was also a flight path there for helicopters.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So it was a fucking perfect spot, right? So anyway, so off we go, get away with it, and fucking and there it was. Fucking opened it up and thought, hello. Got a little extra fucking booty here as well. So, so there was, it was a very good haul. And we got away with it. Well, Nettie Smith was sitting in a fucking pub when it come across the radio.
And he must have.
And he fucking blew up in the pub.
He knew exactly.
Fucking cunt, Abo.
Yeah.
Right? He fucking dropped my name in the fucking pub all over the fucking joint. Right? Like, this comes out like months later. And I went, oh, fuck me. Good on you, fucker. Anyway, thank fuck. Anyway, but I had a task force that was really on to me at the time. You know, this task force, Magnum and all that. They were fucking hunting us and they were all over us, right?
So you've got some cops that you're paying off or you're working with.
And another squad that's filthy on us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they kept on saying, I got a bloke to confront him who was very sweet with them. And he didn't like the armed robbers, but he liked the thieves, right?
Yeah.
He's an ex-detective. I won't give him up. But he went and seen this fucking mate of mine. I said, go and ask him, what's the fucking go? Why is he fucking filthy on me? And he said the reason they're filthy on, he said, because they think that they're going to fucking knock someone on a fucking job. I said, never fucking have, never will. Right?
Yeah.
And he said, well, he hates fucking Ned the was. I said, yeah, but I don't run with fucking Ned, mate. I run him with fucking Ned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said, does he want a fucking drink? He said, no, he won't cop a drink off you. I said, oh, well, we'll tell him to do his fucking best. I said, because the only way he's going to get me is fucking verbal me.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. In the end, they fabricated me. And I was just going home one Saturday, as I usually always did. I come down the coast 3 or 4 days a week. I piss off home on Saturday and come down the next Thursday or Wednesday or whatever and stay.
Yep.
And do what I had to do. And anyway, I was just driving home and I saw these jacks go past in a car and they pegged me on the other side of the road, the highway. And this is up near Gwandolin. And I went, the fuck? Then I seen them turn around, I thought, I better get near someone. So I seen this bloke on the side of the fucking road and I fucking pulled up there and he was changing his wheel with his family. I said, mate, there's going to be a heap of coppers turn up here and next minute, bang, they're there. Oh, fuck. They got all the shotguns out there. If no one was around, I was fucking gone. Yeah. They were going to fucking knock me. Don't worry about that. So anyway, I get in. I said, mate, I've got nothing in the fucking car, right? I said to the bloke, I'm trying to memorise his number plate while all this is going on, right? So I can call him as a witness. And next fucking minute, they're all over me. So they go through the fucking car. They don't find fuck all. There's nothing in there. So fucking, I go down to, next minute they whoop me around the Morisset, sneaky little police station, put me out in this plastic fucking cell out the back like a fucking cubicle.
Do they bash you when they arrested you?
No, I never ever got flogged or anything when they picked me up. I mean, I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But they got sick of fucking throwing me out windows and I still wouldn't talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they knew not to ask me anything. They'd always ask me team. Yeah. No matter what. They'd try them and try them and try them. And it took them years and they finally broke one. And then and with Ned as well, so I had 2 blokes. So I had to be careful. That's how come I got involved in the ICAC. Yeah. Because I had 2 against me. I thought, fuck, better cover my ass here, what he's talking about. So anyway, so next fucking minute, they take me down to the police, not the police centre, the fucking where the commissioner's office is, just up from the big museum in Sydney, right, in College Street. That's the main fucking office for all the fucking big Trump fucking detectives. They take me up this fucking, fucking top floor. And when I get up there, he's fucking two of these other fucking blokes I know with fucking, they got wigs on their heads are caved in, they fucking bashed them.
Fuck.
They found them, they said, with fucking money. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't they just take them to the local police station? It was fucking just 50 yards away from where they fucking caught them.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I found out later. Anyway, what happened, one bloke come in and he said, look, I've got to ask you. He said, do you want to help us out here? I said, don't waste your fucking time, mate. His name was Detective Young, come from Newcastle. And I said, don't waste your fucking time, mate. I said, all right. And he said, I just had to ask. I said, no worries.
Yeah.
So I just fucking sat there. They didn't come near me. So, and this is the main detectives, right? So none of them even came near me. They just left me in this fucking room. They're quizzing the other blokes. They're bashing them. They're fucking doing everything. And they're two big blokes. You know, they're fucking 6'2". They're fucking big solid bastards. Anyway, get us down the police station, segregate us, and then fucking next minute they're trying to pull them out one at a time, pull them upstairs. Mate, we've got your wife here. We're going to have a talk to your wife. Mate, you're going to get 40 fucking years, mate. You know, we reckon 6 million that you have knocked off.
Yeah.
Fucking bang, bang, bang.
Trying to press them.
Yeah, you know. And anyway, so next minute there was a Sheila there that I knew, a copper who used to be a detective, but, you know, terrific Sheila, right? I'll just call her Shirley. So Shirley comes along. She's big sergeant down there now, big Crown sergeant. So I said, down the police centre, we're under the ground, you know. I said, Shirley, can you go and get my mate and get him up here with me and pull him into the cell with me? I need to be with him. She said, yeah, good as gold, Graham. So anyway, she moves them. So they got one right down this end, one in this. So I finally get them together.
And you guys are probably meant to be separate at that stage? So.
Yeah, so they're trying to separate us. And I said, what's going on? I said, well, this robbery. They're trying to get us for them. They're saying we're all dead. And I said, well, I just drink with you boys. That's all I do. Cause you know, I was thinking the fucking places of anyway. And I said, well, you know, he said, anyway, they just tried to pull me upstairs yesterday. And they're telling me all these things. Well, I'm starting to think, oh, these blokes fucking going to fucking turn on me. Or anyway, they fucking don't. Anyway, we get out to the jail. So I ring up my solicitor and I said, go down to the police station and pick up this alleged statement they reckon I've made, right? So, of course, they're all unsigned records of interview, what they used to try and do and present to the court as if all of a sudden we went, oh, fucking hands up, you got us, you know. And when we got out there...
Did that ever work? It sounds like dodgy.
Oh, fucking thousands of times blokes went to jail over verbal, you know, and that's how they did it in the old days. And the judges allowed it, you know what I mean? It was just fucking the biggest bullshitting of all. Yeah. But how I brought them unstuck badly because what happened... When they got us down there, number one, we're all taken down there at different times. So our clothing and everything went into a fucking locker, our personals, and our statement, right? Now, when my bloke went down there and pulled the statement out, I got this bloke called Billy Stewart's statement. Billy Stewart had mine, and this other bloke had fucking his, right? So they put them all in the wrong holes, right? They fucking stuffed themselves fucking badly just there, right? So when I'm going through the statement, I said, listen, don't talk to anyone down this fucking remand yard. If you fucking talk to anyone down here, especially fucking Ned, he was pinched on a robbery and a fucking murder, right? And I said, so just shut the fuck up. Don't talk to him about any fucking thing. Don't talk to anyone. And otherwise, I'll fucking give it here. So, next fucking minute, because the remand yard is the worst fucking place. That's where all the blokes are looking for a fucking out. You know what I mean? So, while we're down there, I said, listen, give me your statement. So I got up and I started to read them and went through them. I said, this is the same verbal. It was word for word exact.
Just copy-paste.
Verbatim, they call it, right? Yeah. Word for word exact. What we're supposedly saying. Oh, you fucking got me this time. About, I feel a weight off my chest, right?
You think they could have
just slightly differ, right? Yeah. And I'd go, well, fucking mate. So what I did, I walked around the yard and I found all the blokes who were pinched on armed robberies. I said, give us your statements. got all their statements, started to go through them. Then I said, I'm going to get hold of Jockey Smith, some of his old statements. Because Jockey always said they fabricated him over all these robberies and fucking murders. And right? So I got all his statements that were all unsigned records of interview, and they got the same fucking words in them.
You think they could vary them up a bit, right?
Exactly. So I fucking bought them unstuck.
Yeah.
You know, I got a fucking bloke who from the university said I wouldn't even talk like that, how they were talking.
Yeah.
Because he came out and visited me, fucking talked to me. Then they said it was pissing down raining. They had 30 observation police, and they said, no, we saw them steal the car that was used in the robbery, and then we saw them go to a restaurant after that. And what was the weather like? That was my only question. What was the weather like? Oh, it was very clear. So where's the photos? Right?
Yeah.
He said the photos didn't turn out. I said, what out of 30 fucking undercover police?
Yeah.
No, they didn't turn up. So I ended up sacking me council because they were piss weak, right?
They weren't challenging them enough.
Yeah, so no, they were just fucking weren't doing their job.
Yeah.
I said, mate, you're missing out on stuff here. You're fucking not picking up on it.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting up in the fucking box myself. Stood up. I didn't go to the witness box. I just stood up and I fucking read out everything. And what I did, I got a weather fucking bloke on the day. It was the biggest hailstorm ever in 5 Dock area where they reckon we were stealing this car to be used in the robbery, right? That they found that day and all this fucking shit. No prints, no nothing, no fucking, right? Anyway, and here I was in fucking Newcastle reporting on a fucking wound with attempted murder on a fucking police prosecutor, right? I'm out on bail on that.
Yep.
Right? And I'm reporting at the same time I'm supposed to be in fucking Sydney.
Yeah.
So I got him fucked. I've had my parole officer go down there already get the fucking thing. And when he got it, I said, go and get a copy of the fucking book. He said it's not even a proper copy. It's like a photocopy. I said, that's because they've changed the fucking times on it, mate. Have a look at this. So they'd fucking done all this bullshit on it.
So they must have had a hard on for you if they were going to this
they
much.
They fucking just wanted me so
Yeah.
bad. They wanted to clean it up because, things had to be cleaned up. If I had them on side, what they used to do in the old days was, if I was some fucking informer or something, they wouldn't come fucking near me. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have said, let's fucking take him off the fucking street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so they just said he's got to fucking go. And as I said, the only way they were ever going to get us was fucking fabricating.
Stitching you up. Yeah.
Because, we were good at what we fucking did. So, and we put a lot of fucking homework and effort into everything, I mean, look, sure, things can happen and you can fucking drop the fucking ball sometimes, but, you just got to smarten up every fucking time and fucking... Anyway, so we got it down fucking pat and we're very good at it. But in the end, they pinched me with the wrong fucking blokes.
Yeah.
Right? Right? That weren't me team. Right? They thought they were. So that's what they fucking thought. So later on, they kept on putting pressure on this fucking crew and one of them rolled. And then he fucking turned and he was caught stealing the car. And that's all this clever bloke was. He was a gopher. He was never involved in robberies with anybody. Not with me, not with fucking, right? And anyway, he gave evidence against his mate, Billy Stewart, Buffalo Bill, and that he was guilty of these robberies. And they were going to kill him that day at fucking because he kept on fucking beating charges. He was out on bail on about 5 robberies. Because the judges didn't believe the bullshit that the coppers kept putting up. It started to really start to come out then.
Yeah.
When they were fucking so bad at what they were doing, this fucking task force. And as I say, in the end, the fucking magistrate in the fucking case just looked around and said, even the prosecutor turned around to me and he said, Mr. Henry, I think you missed your calling. Because I jammed it up him. Like,
Yep.
I just brought them that unstuck on the day. As I said, they said it was a sunny day. I got the Weather Bureau, and the Weather Bureau said it was the biggest hailstorm ever in 5 Dock. Went from 5 o'clock till 7:30 and caused millions of dollars worth of damage. All these blokes said it was sunny because they weren't fucking there.
Yep.
They weren't there. I wasn't fucking there. So I got this bloke to walk in the court who looks exactly like me, and he walks into the court and the fucking magistrate's jaw nearly dropped. And I said, where were you on the day? He said, I walked up to this car, he said, with Billy, and said, oh, that's been following us all day. Let's have a look in it. See if it was a cop's car. And he said, we opened it and then just slammed the fucking door. And he said, then we went to a restaurant. So that was the bloke they were fucking filming.
Yeah.
Wasn't fucking me.
You think if they were going to go
So
to this
we were
much,
acquitted.
If,
know.
yeah, if they were going to go to this much effort to try and sit you up, you'd think that they'd try and do it with a bit less incompetence. You know, it's just
fucking oath. No, they were just fucking desperate. And,
Yeah.
And he was a dud.
no.
One of the main detectives was a fucking dud, and that was Detective John Davison.
Yeah.
And he was just fucking hell bent on fucking pulling us down, and he was fucking no good at it. He ended up catching Neddy, and Ned and his fucking mate Flack, and another bloke called Pommy bloke, Harry Harris. Anyway, they fucking pinched him, and they thought he was me, and they fucking rolled him over on the ground. They're robbing this Port Botany fucking council robbery. They rolled this bloke out and said, right, Abo. He said,
That's
"Who
not
the
Abo."
fuck?" He said, who the fuck's Abo? You know? He
Yeah.
said, fucking
Who
hell,
the
you
fuck?
fucking, they went, fuck, that's not him.
As they live.
They thought it was fucking me. They were
Yeah.
just about to fucking plough
They were
him.
like, finally got
know
him.
what I mean?
Yeah, wrong guy.
Anyway, so fucking, because I wasn't running with him. So they didn't know who the fuck I was running with
It must have
or
been.
who even my fucking team was.
It must have been hard to find the right guys to run in a crew with.
Well,
right?
well, that's the hardest thing, you know. You got to just sniff and know and watch how blokes are. And I remember, like, you know, it was like doing a job interview. You know,
Yeah.
I met him in the fucking pub at the back of fucking Parramatta Road there, and both of them at once. I brought them both in, and I just quizzed them anyway. They didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
Anyway, they started fucking talking, and they said, and then Ned's name came into a conversation. He said, oh, he still run with Abo. And I said, no, he doesn't, matter of fact. I said, why? I said, well, you got a fucking problem with him? Or? And he said, no, not at all. He said, I said, well, that's me. And he went, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So, you know, they didn't know me, I didn't know them. But I knew of them.
Yep.
And I knew that they'd been pretty fucking clever.
You knew they were good operators?
Yeah, I knew they were good operators. I knew they'd been pinched before, but that they'd got through the break, you know, and beat it. And I thought, anyway, so I put down a little bit of a fucking plan to them, and I said, but these are my rules. Yeah, you either play by my rules or you don't play at all, or you can go.
And what were your rules?
I know my rules were that, you know, there's no fucking rats in the camp. If you're fucking ratting, if you're going to the fucking jacks, if you're going to see a jack, you let me fucking know and
Yep.
why you're going there.
Yep.
Because I know you've got through the break a few times, so you must have someone on side.
Yep.
Right? And I said, and, you know the rules if you tell. I'll take you out of fucking play. And if you get fucking shot on the job and
Leave
you're
you
fucking
there.
mortally wounded, you're fucking staying there, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the fucking rules, mate. You know? And I said, that doesn't mean in the gut or something like that, but I'm talking about up here and you're fucking,
Yep.
and you're fucking, you know, you look like you go, well, you're staying there.
Yep.
You know, so, and I said, you know, they're pretty harsh fucking rules, but you've got to fucking, you know, I don't know you, you don't really know me, but we need to suss each other out here. So I did a bit of homework on them, and then some bloke fucking give someone a bag, as people fucking do, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And just brought up in a conversation with someone one day who I knew had been like arrested with him. He said, I reckon he's fucking no good. And, oh, yeah. So I said, well, get his statement for me. I said, well, check it out. He said, yeah, I can get his statement. Anyway, so I went right through this statement and fucking nothing in it, you know. And he was the only one who went to jail, and the other blokes got through the break. I said, well, what the fuck could you say he was a fucking skunk for? The only cunt who went to prison. You're still sitting out here.
Yeah, that's the question mark.
You know what I
put.
mean?
Yeah.
You're the fucking question mark, mate. So anyway, so I thought I'll pull them on and I'll throw them into something and just see how we go here. I did, and it worked. And then another one, and we just kept going. And, As I say, they were very good at what they did. And then during the course of all this, I fucking I went in. I used to mix with Michael Hurley's gang and all them, who were just a bunch of thieves at the time. Sometimes some of the gang had bought guns, blokes that they knew who were seamen. They'd bring in guns from overseas on their trips overseas.
Yep.
I'd go down, pick up a new gun. I'd go and see the bloke and drop him some money, and he'd bring me back something from Italy or fucking wherever they were going, right? In Europe or anyway. So fucking and then Danny Chubb was involved. He was an ex-seaman. He was fucking bringing a little bit of fucking hammer in at the time.
Yep.
And not bulk stuff, just fucking getting it through. And but it was good stuff.
Yep.
But the main thing that he was doing was bringing in hash, he wasn't the fucking brainchild behind it. But what he wanted to be was he wanted to take over like virtually Mickle's fucking team and be the fucking. So
he wanted to be the kingpin.
He wanted to be a kingpin.
Yeah.
And he started to get a few people's nose out of fucking joints and things like that. So I thought he's not going to fucking last fucking long at all, this fucking bloke, with his fucking bridging up. Anyway, in between that, I go down before Chubb and that. I go down to the Captain Cook Hotel where all the Mickles gang drunk and all that. And I walk in and here's this Mal Spencer, police prosecutor, who we had on side. Everyone in organised crime had him on side.
Yep.
He passed about 3 months ago. He's actually dead now. Died of a heart attack, I think. So he was one of them blokes that grew up in Piermont. They got him on side early, went into the police force, ended up in the court system, and he was the main man that all the coppers used. If they wanted someone to get off a blue, if they wanted them to, he was the main man you went to. So we had him sweet. So we worked for that organised crime network that we had that was like a giant fucking...
So he was corrupt too? He was getting paid off?
Yeah. So I went in and fucking front. So if you got pinched for a charge, I'd go and see him and I'd say, listen, this bloke's got 3 DUIs. You know what I mean? Can you make that disappear? He can turn up and he said, yeah, that'll cost 20 grand. So we'd come back to you and say, it'll cost you 30 grand, but you're going to fucking walk through the break. This is your first offence.
Yep.
All right? And you'll walk. You won't lose your licence. Right?
And you think that's a good deal? You find the cash
fucking no.
And everyone gets
so
paid.
We go to him and go, here's 20, we'll go fucking 10. Sometimes it was even bigger, depending on the blue. Yep. It was a massive, big drug fucking deal with big money.
Yeah, the cash goes up.
So, that's how things worked. And so I go in there to the fucking pub this afternoon and having a drink and talking to a few of the boys. And next one, he said, are you going over to Balmain later? I said, yeah, I am. He said, can you give me a lift over? He said, I'm going to Piermont to Barker's Hotel at the end of Harris Street. I said, yeah, not a problem. He hops into my fucking car. He doesn't say much. Get over to the fucking pub and next one, he's taking his teeth out. He tucked my teeth out and he said, you give me up to internal affairs. I said, what? The fuck are you going on about? I said, firstly, put your fucking teeth back in your head because it's just made your fucking jaw fucking as weak as piss. I said, listen, mate, what the fuck are you talking about? You're crossing a bad fucking path here. He said, someone gave me up for driving a stolen Mercedes, the Mercedes I'm driving, that was it. But apparently it had been come off the wharf.
Yep.
And that Mickle's gang had supplied it and all that. I said, mate, you're talking to the wrong fucking bloke here, mate. Yep. I said, who fucking told you this? He said, Ned did at the Coogee Bay RSL. I said, are you fucking serious? I said, he's fucking said that. He said, yeah. I said, well, tell him to fucking come and see me and you turn up and I'll fucking guarantee you won't fucking say it, right? I said, that fucking never happened. I said, matter of fact, I'll fucking go to internal affairs if I have to, right? So I said, anyway, so I fucking brooded on it for a couple of days. Then I went back down the next fucking couple of days. I walk in there and he's with a couple of detectives I know. They come out and they said, Abo, don't do anything to him, please. I said, you're fucking kidding, aren't you? I'm going to fucking knock him straight out. Not going to cop that.
Yep.
I said, It's fucking not me. And as it turned out, like it came out years later during the course of my trial over the attempted murder of him, that it was actually a policeman and his wife, a de facto wife, that went to internal affairs. They were dirty on him because he tried to put work on his wife and they had this fucking little bitterness going on.
Yeah, well,
right?
but
a bloke called Bruce Taylor.
But he falsely accused you.
Yeah, he falsely accused me of it.
That must have
so what
pissed you off.
he was on a sniffing expedition, fishing, trying to find out who it was, right?
Yeah.
So, but in doing so, he said it when he was half pissed and he put himself in a fucking bad spot. And me being me, that's the worst fucking thing you're ever going to fucking say.
Yeah.
Because, everyone knew, mate, I could go to any fucking team. In Sydney, any fucking gang, I could go to and mix in any fucking company and everyone fucking knew I wouldn't talk out of school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't give a fuck. I used to pull blokes up. I don't want to know, mate. You know what I mean? Don't tell me fucking things.
Yeah.
So I just fucking, so I blew up about it. So I brooded on it. And I said, fucking, so we went out. It was just before Christmas, 87, 88. And I went to the Epping Hotel and two of the coppers turned up with two of these blokes who were in my crew. And not in my crew, but that I drunk with every now and then. Anyway, they turned up and they had these two coppers with them. I said, what'd you fucking bring them for? He said, I don't need a bit of a drink, mate. He said, Christmas, and he said they've been pretty kind over the years to all of us, I said, yeah, that's true. So anyway, they were good. They were all right. And, I'm not going to mention their names. Anyway, I got down there and give them a fucking bone each, for Christmas. And we got on the fucking wine and fucking, I can't drink wine, so I give them whiskey to the fucking Indians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I left the pub. As I was going, I went into the bar and just had a couple of beers with a couple of local blokes I knew when I grew up there as a young bloke. And as I was leaving, there's this fucking dickhead in there that always wanted to have a fucking crack at me. Always. So I'm just talking to this fucking bloke and I'm giving him a rev over something. And over comes this fucking idiot. You and me ought to fight. I said, oh, fuck off, you fucking clown. He couldn't hold his hands up, this bloke, but he was one of them strong blokes, He was I said, fuck off, mate, not in the fucking mood. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to leave.
He knew who you were and he still wanted to blue you.
Yeah, but he had no idea about the criminality that I was involved in.
Yeah, okay.
He was the knockabout who came from the suburb I grew up in, right? And I had a reputation there of, being this fucking
just a
fucking
fighter.
street fighter and,
okay.
all that shit, right? So they hadn't seen me for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm walking down the fucking alley at the side of the Epping Hotel. I get out in the car and he said, come on. I said, well, come down here then. Come down here. We'll go down the fucking park where there's no witnesses. Come on. I said, have you got any balls? Come down here now. So I went straight into the car and went fucking bang. I said, I'm going to fucking carve this motherfucker up. That's what I said to myself. I pulled out the knife, which I didn't have on me, put it in my fucking pocket. I said, come on, you motherfucker. I was just going to fucking slice him. He had a big scar down his face anyway. He'd killed two nuns in a car crash, and went to jail for it. And he did a couple of years jail and thought he was a tough guy or something. So I said, come on, you fucking dog. I said, you're only good at killing nuns. That's what I said, trying to entice him.
Did that work? Did that fire him up?
No, he kept on saying, no, don't go that far for a picnic. I said, come on, it's just down the car park here, mate. Yeah. Come on, there's a big park here. Anyway, he wouldn't come. So I just got in the car, said, oh, get fucked, you fucking clown. So I drove off. Well, now I've got the fucking blade on me. And instead of just going where I was going, home, I went, fuck it, I'm in the mood now. I might fucking go over and have a drink with some boys over at fucking 5 Dock. I got over to 5 Dock, got on the piss there, and we go into Surrey Hills to catch up with another bloke, good mate of mine, and then we leave there. We're driving home, and I said, I'll just go down Warrowary or Oldemo. They said, you're going down to see if Big Brother's there. That was Malcolm Spence, the prosecutor. They called him Big Brother because Big Brother's looking after you, right? So that's where he got the nickname from, Big Brother. So we go down, and it's only a real skinny street. There's cars either side. It's only one way, so you've got to go slow down there. So he says I go slow to cruise past because I'm there to assassinate him. That's what he says. So I just go past, I see him, and I said, right, park the car around the fucking corner here. So I park the car, fucking get out, walk straight in. There he is, got a group of people around him. He's jabbering away, fucking big mouth, bowling ball. Gob, I used to call him. I said, come here. I said, want to have a talk to you? He said, no, I'm not talking shop tonight. I said, oh, you'll be fucking talking, all right? Get out fucking here. Follow me now. So I fucking burred up and he went, oh, fuck, put his beer down. Then walks out and the silly prick followed me straight up to the lane.
Yeah.
Right, there's fucking pitch black up there. There's not a light in the fucking laneway. As soon as he got up there, I went fucking bang, left hooked him, dropped him. Right? And I said, listen, you fuck. He said, Abo, I'm fucking sorry. I was fucking wrong. I was wrong. You know? I said, fucking wrong. You ain't kidding. Get up now. You fucking open up your mouth. Fucking let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I want to do is fucking
Just have a
punch
fight.
on with him. Anyway, he started being a real fucking,
Coward.
yeah, fucking shitting him fucking self. Oh, I just went, oh, fuck him. I pulled it out, and as he got up, I went, fuck, I'm whacking his guts, and then, boom, straight in the fucking neck. Well, I just fucking missed his jugular. Just fucking by hundredth of a fucking millimetre, you know what I mean? So, next fucking, he's got a big polo neck jumper on, right? I don't know why, because it was fucking summer, you know? But it must have been cold or something. Anyway, he's got this big fucking polo neck jumper on and this thick jumper underneath him. And next minute he just goes arse over. And next minute there's coppers there everywhere because as soon as they'd seen me walk outside with him, the fucking publican who was his mate rung up the fucking cops and they were there in a heartbeat, right? So next minute there's an ambulance there and they said, you better hop in. He said, no, I'm fucking sweet. He doesn't even realise he's bleeding the fucking shit house underneath.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden he fucking gets a bit wobbly and they put him in the car.
Yeah.
So they grabbed me and they said, I have to charge you with assault, mate. I said, oh, go for your life, mate. So I get down to the fucking police station. I'm thinking, I just fucking air conditioner again. So what I've done when I done it, I went flip with the fucking blade and it went right over the top of this house, landed in the garden, and the fucking hose was going, washed all the fucking prints and blood off it. Right? So I went, oh, fucking beauty. So it could be a blessing.
Yeah.
So anyway, next fucking minute, I get down the station, the fucking jacks come down to see me and they said, you fucking stabbed him, you cunt, you know. And I said, oh, well, bad fucking luck, mate. You know. I said he wants to run around fucking putting me on, fucking giving him up.
Calling you.
I said, he's not a protected fucking species.
Yeah.
Right? And he said, you're going down, you'll get fucking life for this. Oh, get fucked. Right? So out they go. Another detective come in that I knew. I used to be on my payroll. So I fucking sling him and I get bail. He charges me with malicious wound, right? And next minute I get a phone call on the way home. They want me to surrender and I'm now being charged with fucking attempted murder. So I said, no, I'll do it on Monday. I'm not fucking doing it now. He said, well, we'll come to your house. I said, I'm not going to my fucking house. I did. But I said, I'll hand myself in Monday morning with me barrister, which I did. Handed myself in on the Monday. Anyway, they charged me with attempted murder. Went up before the court, and the magistrate was a bit fucking sniffy about, you know, the whole situation. What's the police prosecutor doing down a laneway with the bloke and, you know, an unknown fucking organised crime fucking bloke, you know?
Yeah.
And he got a bit sniffy about it and give me bail, $50,000. So I got out on $50,000. And then a year later I ended up fronting on it. Well, no, sorry, a year went past, and just before I was going to go, I got into a fucking stink in a fucking pub up my way where I lived. And I usually never shit in my own backyard, but this bloke was just a fucking... Two blokes were arguing, to cut a short story short, and I slammed him down in the seat, and I said, fucking pull the fuck up. Well, as I did, he rocked backwards and looked like he was going to fall out of the chair. But all I caught out of the corner of my eye was this flash. Well, I just loaded up and went fucking whack. Well, this bloke's going over to save this bloke. Yeah. I fucking king hit him, put all his teeth through his fucking gums. He hit the bar and fucking slid along it and down out like a fucking light, right? I went, fucking don't try and king hit me, motherfucker, right? His mate said
he was just
going
trying to
over
help
to
me.
save him, mate.
Yeah.
I went, oh, fuck. So I followed him up the fucking hospital, you know, in the fucking car because I knew the publican was trying to get me charged there because he was a mate of his. Yeah. So I go up and I wait. I go because I know that the coppers are going to turn up, and because it's an assault, they're going to come to the hospital. So I go up there, and anyway, I walked down and found what room he was in. I walked in. I said, "Listen, here's 4,000. I'll give you this 4,000 on Monday, but you got to shut the fuck up today."
Yeah.
And he said, "I want to fight you again." I said, "Okay, good.
Good.
You can. You
Just
can
keep
fight
me
me
shut.
on Monday."
Yeah.
All right. There's the $4,000. Don't talk tonight. I'll be watching. All right. So I fucking sat off the fucking joint. Coppers come there. They were in there 10 minutes. Fucking walked out and they were gone. So I went. He had a couple of mates with him. Anyway, next one I pissed off. Anyway, Monday I'm waiting down the fucking park, and he fucking pulls up in the car park, gets out with two of his mates, and they're walking across the road, and I went, give him a whistle. I went, "Over here, mate." He went, "No." Yeah, he didn't want to fucking play. So anyway, what had happened?
Did he get his $4,000?
No, he didn't give me 4 fucking bob. That was just the lure. But what I done, I split all my fucking knuckles, and like you can see by how they are. I mean, they're fucking massive anyway.
Yeah.
But I split them, and the fucking it was this end, and I poisoned it through his teeth. Anyway, I got this infection. It was the second time. Lily died once out at Long Bay.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went to the races out at Warwick Farm, horse races, on the Saturday. And next one and I'm supposed to do trial on the Monday. Next one, this big red track's running up my arm. I'm walking around the races like this, waiting for a lump to come up under my arm because that's when it'll travel to your heart. You know what I mean? And it gets dangerous. So I'm walking around. I run into a solicitor out there, that Chris Murphy, and he said,
"What are you doing, mate?"
You look like shit, mate. I said, "I'm in a lot of pain, actually." I said, "I'm going to go to hospital." I said, "Look at this." He went, "Fuck." So I fucking called me doctor on the way home because I'm getting really crook. And he said, "Go straight to Warners Bay Private Hospital." So I go there. Anyway, my trial was put off for a year, which was fucking beautiful. So I was still on bail. And then I got before a really good judge, like a fucking fair one. Otherwise, they were going to steer me into the wrong fucking one.
Yep.
And I would have got fucking 25 fucking years or life, But the thing was, he said, I've never known him before. I've only known of him. And I thought, no, there's photographs of him and I together because I knew. So I said, subpoena all the photographs. I said from the BCI. I said because that was a Bureau of Criminal Investigation in those days.
And that would contradict him, right?
Yeah, that would contradict him. So, I mean, I'd been to barbecues with these blokes and judges and fucking coppers and all together, singing fucking arm in arm, photographs of them. So everyone's getting rid of photos all over the fucking joint to protect his ass, right? And next minute, but all this paperwork come back on him about this sick that had been fucking hidden, right? So next minute they got like people like from the fucking commissioner's office, lawyers representing the commissioner of police representing fucking Bureau of Criminal Investigation, fucking 3 main people because they didn't want none of this stuff coming out. They already had on him.
Yep.
So I thought, this might fuck. But I've got to be careful here because I don't want to open up a can of worms. I don't want it to come back and fucking hurt people involved with me. You know what I mean?
You've got to find the right balance.
Yeah, I've got to find the fucking. So when me barrister, so what happened? We ended up in trial. During the course of the trial, it was just going to start. Before this even got off the ground, we were before the Supreme Court at lunchtime during the lunch break, before fucking 3 fucking judges to get this passed, so we could have access to it.
Surely,
right?
Malcolm,
because they were trying to block it all.
Surely Malcolm Spence doesn't want this to drag out in court either, right?
Well, I'd already offered him 100,000 in cash.
Yeah.
I'd sent a bloke around with him, and he opened it up and went, "That's life." So he said, he said, "The commissioner's watching it, mate. I can't do anything about it."
Yeah.
So he wouldn't take it, right? Otherwise, I would have copped the malicious wound and got fucking, 5 years. As it turned out, I got 8 with a 6 anyway.
Yeah.
Because they started to look at him, and then when the judge summed up and they found me guilty, they didn't find me guilty of attempted murder. They found me guilty of wound with intent to cause grievous bodily. And he said, I should really, he said, if I thought this man was doing something in the course of his duty, you'd be getting the highest sentence possible. But I think this comes right down under and he said, and I'm a bit concerned, very concerned, why this man would be meeting
You in an alleyway.
you know, yourself, Mr. Henry, in an alleyway, knowing your reputation, and he's from the court of law, the judicial system.
Yep.
And he said that's of grave concern to me, and I think the authorities should look into it. Right? And I thought, so he gave me 8 years with a 6, which brought me under the malicious wound, because malicious wound carried 7.
Yeah.
So I did 6 years.
It's about the best result you could have hoped for under the circumstances.
I was fucking laughing.
Yeah.
You know, even though it took me away from my family for, you know, those 6 fucking years, but, you know, I had to fucking wear it. That was what I did. But I knew my fucking any help I was ever going to get off any fucking jacks was fucking long gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just prior to me, I was just getting out, a couple of months before I got out, they gave me works release, and I started working out at Rothbury at Cessnock on this old train museum. And I was just, you know, they had old trains there from the Granville train disaster, and so I was doing up carriages there and shit and painting them and all that sort of shit. It's on about 100 acres. So there used to be a bloke who lived in a train carriage as you first come into the property, and he used to make me a cuppa every morning. Then I just walked down to the big shed and fucking started doing a bit, you know. After time, I just walked around the fucking joint, you know, and met people, and people had come and seen me. And anyway, while I'm there, I got a fucking visit, and they were 2 ex-fucking prison officers. You wouldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
And they come and visit me, and they said, mate, you getting a visit shortly? Someone said, just thought we were dropping past. He said, thought I'd tell you. He said, you're getting a visit. This bloke called Ronnie told us. And I said, oh, did he? And I said, well, what did he say? I'm getting a visit or something. He said, yeah, apparently you need some clothes or something for when you're getting out. And I don't need any fucking clothes, mate. So that's a bit weird. Anyway, so I said, all right, yeah, thanks. So off they fucking go, and I just continued working. Anyway, a couple of nights later, I only had 2 weeks to go. And I was fucking just laying back in my cell, and as I said, I have these dreams or premonitions, and I dreamt about this fucking massive big anaconda snake. And it was in the suburb of Piermont. I knew it was Piermont in my own head. I'm saying, that's Piermont. What am I doing here? And there's this tail of this fucking big fucking coloured anaconda up this drain pipe. And I'm pulling the thing out, and as I'm pulling it out, it's getting thicker and thicker. Next minute it goes at me and goes, shh, but bites beside me. Its mouth was wide open like that. Massive big fucking thing. So I knew it was a big enemy, right? But
so this is a warning. What that you've got.
This is a warning. You know, this
coming?
is what I get. So I knew. So I already had a fucking little bit of a premonition, you know, and I started to drive around the property in this little unlicensed car, you know, that was just used for the property. And I'm sneaking around it during the day, and I seen a bloke on a motorbike one day, a Harley. He's not a bikie, but he was just fucking big bloke. And I went, wonder if that's so-and-so, this fucking bloke. So I thought, oh, I'd just have a bit of a sniff around. And then sometimes the screws would leave me there. It's supposed to pick me up at 4 o'clock and get me back to the jail. Mm. You know, I'm supposed to wait out the front of this property, and they're supposed to pick me up at 4 p.m. Sometimes I'd be sitting there till 6 o'clock. They'd fucking forget about me. I'd think, they're fucking trying to set me up here, these fucking dogs, you know. So anyway, one night I was sitting there, it was really dark, and then I thought, this is a bit fucking sass. So anyway, after this dream I remember Lenny McPherson was still fucking around. And I said to Lenny, I think he was still there then. Or I said to someone there, because Lenny was upstairs with me at the time. He was serving a couple of years. Mm. And I just said, this fucking weird dream. And I said, something's going to fucking occur. Anyway, so I go out. Mightn't have been Lenny, I said. Anyway, I got out to, because he dropped dead in there just prior to me getting out. Mm. So anyway, I got up to, I get a lift that morning out to the fucking job site.
Yep. And
as I'm walking in there, I'm just walking, and next fucking minute, I just looked to the right, and 2 blokes stood up. One little short bloke, one big bloke, and they were all camouflaged up, balaclavas on, and they just started fucking emptying at me, bang, bang, bang. So I just fucking threw this bag I had on me, like I twisted it like that so it'd hang around me neck, threw it over me to protect me back so it wouldn't go through to my heart or something. And I just fucking motored. Well, for 3 months, all I'd been doing was sprint training.
So you
know,
could
so
could
it's
run.
like, as I say, it's like I already know.
Yeah.
It's like my spirit fucking knows those things.
That you're going to need
Know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's coming. So, and I was fucking racing young blokes and fucking flogging them, right? And they were fucking filthy on me. I was about 47,
Yeah.
right? So I'm fucking motoring. So
While two
as
blokes
I'm
are
going,
two blokes are
and
shooting
they're
at you.
unloading, fucking bang, 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 bang. So I finally, the adrenaline runs out of me fucking legs and I fall ass over fucking head. When I look around, the one bloke who's still left, still firing at me, the other bloke's fucking bashing the fucking main bloke who makes me a cup of tea every morning. He's bashing him with a fucking butt of the gun.
Yep.
And he ends up gets a compensation claim for it. And the other bloke standing up there and I said, your old man was a fucking dog, so are you. He was called Who Can I? Who Can I Tell On? I said, and it runs in the family. You miss me, and that's a fatal fucking act to fucking miss you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But you knew who it was?
I fucking knew straight away.
Yeah.
So the police grabbed me, take me back to Singleton Police Station. I don't know why they took me all the way out there. Then there was one copper there who was sitting there who was part of this fabrication back when I was pinched over these robberies and stuff. And stitching up me fucking times that I reported and all this bullshit trying to trap me on behalf of the Sydney police, right?
Yeah.
And I said, what are you doing here? He said, well, this is my jurisdiction. I said, what, Singleton? I said, you're fucking Belmont, mate. I said, I said, food for thought, eh? I said, well, you know the rules, mate. I said, I'll look after my own and you do the best you can. He said, we've got to go out and video it where you were fucking go for your life. Where were you? I was here. Bang, this happened. Right? He said, so you're not going to tell us so? I said, I've got no idea, mate. I said, I'll have to work it out myself. So I went back to the jail. And then when I got back to the jail, they take me down to the governor's office and the governor's on the phone talking about getting his fucking officer a fucking medal.
What, for just getting hit in the head?
No, and he would have been about 2 kilometres away. Yeah. He dropped me off and turned around and was gone by the time I'm getting shot at. Yeah. So he's trying to get him a medal for
doing nothing.
What about fucking me, mate? I just dodged fucking 18 shots. Yeah. You know what I mean? Fucking I'll have a fucking medal for that. So fucking, anyway, they take me back in. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got back in. Anyway, they end up going back to fucking police and they find 2 guns, ties, cable ties, so they were expecting to cart me away and not leave me there and put me in a hole that was probably already dug.
Yeah.
So, they had it all fucking planned out and worked out. And I knew exactly where the car would be. That's exactly where they found it, right? And because it led up into the back of Curry, it was in a bush track. So I was probably going there. So they already would have sorted that out and sussed it out. The bloke wasn't a dummy, I'll give him that. And but I thought, why are you trying to fucking get rid of me? I knew that he was already that he'd given a little bit of fucking evidence against Ned and me on the sly, right, and been taken out of the prison for it, right? So, and I knew that he was pretty sweet with the fucking coppers now. Now, this was the bloke who was one of them blokes who wanted to climb to the top, and he still goes today. He's still operating today, right? Never been to jail since, right? So, you know what he's fucking got to do. So, and anyway, so he kept trying to fucking hire these blokes to get me, and fucking they had that many goes at me. It was fucking ridiculous. And every time they did, I fucking jerried to it. I was onto them, or I'd fucking chase them, or,
Was it always guys trying to take a shot at you, or?
Well, they weren't always shooting at me.
Yeah.
But they were, they were trying to set me for the fucking trap.
Yeah.
So they'd watch where I walked in the morning. And so I always walked. I always walked no matter where I lived. I'd always walk in a certain spot. And the reason I did it, and people say, oh, well, that's silly because you were. I said, no, I'm drawing them out, mate. I draw them out to me. So I let them come to me. I never go fucking hunting them and go out of my area, right? Especially then because I didn't have anyone on side. You know what I mean? So I said, if they want me, they'll have to come to me. So I let them fucking come to me, and they started to, and they started popping up here and there, and then I jerried. I seen one sitting in a little kayak one day as I'm walking over the Ryde Bridge, and I knew straight away. I said, that's him. I fucking knew. Like he was about half a kilometre away as the crow flies.
Yep.
But I fucking knew because he was just sitting there. He weren't fishing.
Just watching.
Just sitting there watching the track where I usually walk. But they'd missed me this morning. I'd already been around there. I'd left early because I was going up to Stan the man's place, Stan Smith, who lived in Gladesville. So I walked over the Ryde Bridge up to his place, and then I'd walk myself back. So I just said that'd be a good spot for him to sit out there. So we must be parking over this side, and he's got that kayak on the fucking car. Anyway, I couldn't find his car over there, but he would have had some other car, wasn't going to turn up in his own one. So I fucking started sniffing around then. So as I'm walking, I seen the Sheila walk past me one day, and she went, the big smile as I'm walking on the track. Well, because I'm used to walking this track. And I went, that's his wife, right? She's doing the homework for him. She's just got a wig on and, attractive thing.
Yep.
And I just kept walking. I thought, I'm not going to fucking G me up that way, man. I'm not going to fall into some Sheila and a fucking bush track.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm not that fucking stupid. So I just kept fucking walking. Then I sprung him with her, and he hit his head. And I thought, right, that's well, anyway, when of the time I hopped in my car to sneak up this side street, which was a little dead end that went back into the hospital, Concord Hospital this was, in Sydney, I'd missed them. They'd already gone through the other part. Right? And I went, fuck. So I went, rightio, I'm onto this fucking one. So every morning I'm walking, so I'm tooled. So then he waits for me, and I'm jerried, and I said to myself as I'm walking one day, if I was going to get anyone, where would it be? So I'm walking along that track, and I come to this part where these massive big bamboos are. I mean, they're fucking 25 feet high. Massive, been grown there for years. And it's in the back part of the hospital where they have blokes who've got mental problems or drug habits, or it's like a rehab place. Yep. Even for blokes with no legs, or, some sort of a rehab place. So I used to walk through there. As I'm coming along, I thought this would be the spot. He could pull up there. Now, the day that I saw him, he had a flap, he had a hat on with a flap on the back, like the Japs would wear in the Philippines in the Second World War.
Yep.
Keep, you know what I mean? One of them things. Keep the sun off the back of your neck. So as I'm walking along, a bloke walks past me, and I said, never seen him before. So I stopped and just watched him, and couldn't help himself. He had to turn back. And I said, bang, the fucking hair goes up in the back of my neck. So I'm ready. So I'm walking along the fucking track, and as I come to the bamboo, I can see through the bamboo, and there's a gap, there's a pathway between it. And as I look to the left, here's the fucking kayak upside down in the tree, right?
Yeah.
Sitting up the tree, and here's him squatted with the flap hanging down here. I can see the flap of the hat. Well, I thought, I didn't know 100%, so
There's
just
still a
didn't
little bit
wanna
of doubt.
fucking unload in case it was a fucking copper,
Yeah.
right? So I walked behind it instead of in front of it, where he's expecting me to walk, where I always walk. So they've been doing their homework. So I got around the fucking back of him. Then I said to me, fucking Jack Russell I'm walking with, I said, come on, Oscar, look out for the other fucking dog there. Well, next minute he's gone. He's fucking over. He's fucking trying to sit on his fucking pat, like just right away from me. Well, I thought, what'll I fucking do here? I thought, well, I'll just pretend I'm going. As I'm going, I just get around the other side of the building. I see this blue fucking Mercedes van fly around, got all blacked out windows on it. It comes around. Well, I've already set a trap there, right? Because that's where I think it's happening.
Yeah.
So I've got a bloke who was in the SAS Commandos, right? Yep. So he set up all this little shit. Like we're talking bugs under they're like throwdown bugs, mate. Recorders that go to a transmitter.
Yeah.
He set up that, set up the camera, and they fucking pulled up and they go, what fucking happened? He said he fucking come out behind me and fucking jerried. woke up to me. Oh, they were fucking cursing him. He fucking pisses off in his fucking thing. Off they go in the fucking van. But that's where I was going, in the fucking van and gone. You know what I mean?
So
I went, right, well, it's fucking on. So next minute, when I start to hunt him, he takes off a couple of times because he thinks it was me and it was someone else.
Yeah.
And he gets starting to get fucking toey. So he goes down and fucking fronts Roger Rogerson. And Roger Rogerson rings me. He said, mate, can I catch up with you today over at Roselle? I said, all right. So I get over there and I said, yeah, what do you want? He said, I've been talking to so-and-so today. Oh, yeah. Well, what do you want? And he said, mate, he said, what about, he said, we call it square. You've had a go at him. He's had a go at you. And I went, no, mate, no fucking fair go here. I said, you had a go at me when I'm fucking unarmed trying to take me away from me fucking family. And I said, and here I am fucking walking along with no gun and he wants to fucking do that. I said, tell him you got any balls, come and see me while I'm fucking tooled up.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, because one-on-one I'll fucking any day of the fucking week. Right? And anyway, so I knew he had a crew at the time and they were all doing homework on me and he was running with these European blokes. And they put a big crew into me. Well, I tagged them and I followed them out to a certain area in the western suburbs and somewhere out Park Lee Way.
Yep.
And I fucking followed them out there and I went, this is where they are at. So I called them, made a phone call to the fucking place. And it was actually on a fax line. Anyway, I called it and it was just off a home phone, right? And I said, listen, mate, you were the owner of this number plate, blah, blah, blah. He said, yeah, I am. I said, well, mate, you follow me again from that fucking property I was at the other day. And I said, I'm going to fucking put one in you. And I said, and if you come anywhere near my fucking home as you have been, you've been trying to get me for the last fucking 2 months on behalf of your little fucking mate. Mm. He said, mate, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, you know what I'm talking about? I'm fucking telling you, don't fucking come here, mate. Well, next fucking minute, or not next minute, but a fucking week goes past, I start seeing a few fucking strange people and this woman, they kept using this woman and she's texting all the time. Even my daughter picked up on her. Said she's sitting out in the car, she's always texting. I said, yeah. Anyway, she looked like she was like, at first I thought she might have been Croatian or Russian or something, right? Anyway, I found out what they were. So they weren't Middle Eastern. Anyway, so I went, right here. So I said, that's how they operate. They use these healers. They just say, yeah, they're coming out of the pub now, walking down this way. Yep. Oh, bang, you're gone. Right? So, it's a clever way. Anyway, so they come to the fucking house. I see them sniffing around. I seen one bloke hiding. And I went, oh, there's something. But me dog this night, the light was on. Like, say a spotlight like that up in the roof. Mm. And he ran over and he fucking started running around this fucking light. Right? Well, I'm a Jerry to what's going on. My family's not. They just think, what's he chasing them off? Yeah. No fucking moth there. Mm. Right? He's seeing something, and to me, I knew straight away it was a warning. Yep. Right? So he can see something that no one else can fucking see. Right? So I knew straight away to get up and to go outside. So I walked outside and I had a bloke with me. And I said, listen, do me a favour, just slip into the garage there, so-and-so in that little corner there. I said, and go and grab me gun. So he walked out, and as he did, a fucking old Commodore pulled up. The door's open. We got it. So I'm crouched down behind this big fucking tree on the property. It's pitch black out the front of my house. There's no light, street light. And I live in number 4 in Chinese. It means death. My wife always said, don't like this number in this house. Right, so Nick, I'm behind the fucking
What year was this?
This is at West Penadills. This is Thursday night before Good Friday, 2004.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So they'd been trying for 7 years or something to fucking get rid of me and they had no luck.
Wow.
All right. So in between that, I'm running with Stan the Man Smith, which I ran with for 13 years until he died. Yep. And so I'm running with him, but they're trying to sneak game me where they can get me, on me fucking own.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So anyway, I just jerried to him. Anyway, so as I say, I'm down at the fucking front of the house. I got the gun ready, and my mate said, mate, all you could do is fucking lift up the roller door there. If it happened, I'll fucking shot him in there and we'll get rid of him.
Yep.
Right, mate? Said simple as fucking that. So the next minute, me Jack Russell runs out between me fucking legs and runs out and starts barking at him. And then they jerry, because I pull it back in by the back legs.
Yep.
They see me.
Yeah.
So they run
They
down,
give
they hop
away.
in the car, reversing it off, so I just let go at them,
Yep.
going down the street, and they went down the bottom, mounted the fucking gutter and fucking skidded nearly, because the houses dropped down there, like the front yards,
Yep.
and they fucking went over the top. They went over there, they were fucking in trouble. Next minute they got out and they pissed off. Well, a week later, there's a fucking crew, like a crew, not one or two. I've never ever seen it before. And I thought, how fucking desperate is this bloke to get fucking rid of me?
Yeah, I was
Right?
going to say, that why were they so hell-bent on taking you out?
Because this bloke fucking paying him.
Yeah.
And he's fucking cruising and he's fucking thinks I'm fucking chasing him. I couldn't give up about him because, you know what I mean? Unless he comes at me and fucking, then I'll fucking go at. You know what I mean? Anyone who's come at me on a track and we're going to have a go at me, I've just stuck my hand in me fucking, on me gun and just fucking walked at him, you know? And did I shit myself? No. If I'm going to fucking die, I'm going to fucking die. I can give a fuck, mate. I don't fucking fear death. I don't mean that to be a fucking tough guy. I don't give a fucking flying fuck. I'll fucking go you one-on-one. And people don't like it, mate. They don't like being confronted like that. It's like the bloke in the prison when I say, well, pick the fucking knife up, tough guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't fucking like it. And
They
so
don't
I
like it
don't produce it. I'd never pull it out and go like that because sometimes I didn't know if they were coppers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to G me. So
And they don't like it when the stakes are that high, right? Like if it was just
No.
if it was just going to be a punch on, that's one thing. But when you're marching towards someone with a gun or
Oh,
saying
yeah.
pick up a knife, and it's like the loser dies, then
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
fucking hate
not
that.
everyone has the guts.
that's right. And especially if you've already got the dollar and they're coming at you and you know they're going to go, what?
Yeah.
You know. And I said, go on, motherfucker. You know, this happened a few times, 2 or 3 times. And they just fucking turn off. One day I was walking just before this happened and there was a bloke leaning against this big LTD. It was a hire car.
Yeah.
And I knew they owned it, right? They owned a business like that. So he's leaning on the car. Now, usually I go down and across this creek and I go up to this oval. Today I wasn't going to because something told me not to. So as I get to the
Just
corner,
a feeling in your gut. What was
yeah,
it?
Just this awareness thing
Yeah.
I have. And I just got to the corner. I went, not going that way today. And I didn't like him straight away, right? And he looked at that nationality, the European look, right? So as I come to the corner, he said, I looked at him and he went, oh, he was standing at the back of the LTD, with them big wings on it. And he said, I'm just doing time, mate. Funny fucking words to use, mate. Just doing time. You meant just wasting time, mate.
Yeah.
Have a good day, mate. I said, tell your fucking mates, don't worry about it, mate. Off I fucking walked. I could see him. You could fucking see him going, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how's he fucking Jerry? You know what I mean? I don't know. It just fucking comes to me, mate. I just know. And I smell him, mate. And I'm in the right time at the right place. Like one day I just sat down in my driveway. I see a car down the road, white car with a black roof. And I jerried that it's this bloke's wife.
Yep.
Surveilling me street, checking out everything. So I said, right, I've got to be on guard again. This is up the coast where I live. Another day I was sitting there and Mercedes went down the fucking street and went down, turned around as it's coming back up. Right on the right time, I had a gut feeling about it. And I went, well, that looks like so-and-so, like, a bloke that had rorted me in a business.
Yeah.
And I went, And next minute I said, I wonder if it was. I was pretty sure it was. Next minute, cars coming past and going up again. It's not coming down the street again. It's just doing up on the main part of the road. So I went, fuck it. So next minute he sprung my daughter. He knew that she knew him. and I'm reversing out the driveway. Well, I tried to fucking give chase, but he'd done the hightail. He was in a Merc too, and I forget what I had at the time. Anyway, I fucking tried to chase him. Anyway, I lost him. I didn't know if he went left or right down the bottom, so I took a chance and went right, thinking that was the closest way to the expressway, but I missed him. Probably went Swansea way. So,
Isn't having this sounds exhausting, having to be this sharp all the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because,
Well, I guess
you
it
slip
can be.
once, you can be gone, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've only got to drop it once and you're fucked, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, most people would have no idea what this feels like to
No.
be out thinking, all right, I need to have my wits about me because someone might be out there trying to kill me today.
Yeah.
And this was happening.
I mean, this bloke's still got a feather in his cap about it today. I know that even a few months ago, he tried to raise his fucking head by steering someone into me. And they thought I was going to turn up at a certain turnout one day, and I never did. I get these, and this actually came from someone else. And he's an extremely alert bloke on the street, this bloke. He's like me, and he gets feelings and he gets little things like I do. And he said to me, "Man, there's some sus people around me." I said, it was funny. I said, because I was coming to see you today, the day that he had all these people around him. And he said, I said, they're not Middle Eastern or anything. He said, no. He said, they're another national. I said, yeah, because they are. I said, oh, well, I know where it's coming from. He said, yeah, so do I. So next fucking minute, they try to tamper with his locks at his house and things like that. And they knew that I parked there sometimes. And I went in there, so never went back there again, of course, and never will. But, you just got to be on guard. But I'm not going to turn around now at fucking 71 years of age, go fucking hunting this bloke with 10 million cameras around the fucking joint and fucking take him out of fucking play. Now, he wants me in his own backyard, because down in his own backyard he can get smothered for what he's fucking doing.
Yeah.
Right? And the other people will fucking do the job, and where this was going to happen at, they would have got away with it. It was fucking easy. It was a simple spot. But just about 4 days prior to me going down, they knew this turnout was on and everyone was going to it. Someone just pulled straight up in my street. And I looked at the car as soon as I went down. I went, it was a Nissan. Right? Went down the street, then pulled straight up my driveway and went click, bang, and took off.
Yeah.
Took my number plate. Right? So, I just rang my mate and I said, well, that's what just happened. I said, I won't be fucking lobbing there.
Yeah.
I said, just keep your eye out. And they did. And they had two sitting off and one driving around the block. So I jerried straight away who it was. But as I said, I don't want to just fucking go and attack him at fucking 71 years of age, mate. Over all that fucking shit,
Yeah.
I'll keep me wits about me. If he comes at me, fucking different ball game.
It seems crazy. You've been out of organised crime for a long time.
It's 2010 I got out.
Right. So it's been over a decade.
Yeah. Still got to fucking, because I do Instagram things and that to sell me book.
Yep.
Right? Which is called Last Man Standing. And you can get it at treacherouslife.com if you want a copy.
It's funny. So that book was first published in 2005?
In 2005.
And so that book was published about your life of organised crime while you were still involved in organised crime. Is that right?
Yeah, virtually. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Usually people...
So, well, of course, I want everyone to think I'd retired. So.
It's still funny because usually when people write their memoirs, it's like when they're far removed from it.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
No, that's
but
great.
I'd already wrote all that while I was in the prison.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then my son-in-law put it together and did the homework on all the history of it.
Did anyone was anyone
put the factual truth to it?
Yeah. Was anyone unhappy that you put a book out? Did that rub anyone?
No.
No one gave a shit.
No one gave a shit, mate.
Yeah.
And I didn't fucking use anyone's proper fucking names unless they were dead.
Yep.
And as I don't do on my podcast, but
yep.
I know that I was talking one day about this bloke, and the bloke at Piermont told me one day, and just mentioned his name, and as I did, I just spat on the ground and said, not one of my favourite people.
Yep.
Well, it got his fucking feathers all ruffled and he got the shits about it again,
Fucking hell.
Well, that's called ego, mate, and fucking look what I can do, and I got these fucking cops sweet, and we got plenty of money, and you know. And I mean, you're paying someone for a hit today. You're playing fucking big fucking money, but you know, look, fucking get on with your life, mate. I don't give a hump what you're doing. Like, just go and fucking live your life. Enjoy your fucking green light, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leave me the fuck out of it. I'm not chasing you, but don't fucking come at me because I'll fucking run over you.
What was the thing that made you finally decide to pack it in 2010?
I just think after, I was running with Stan the Man Smith at the time.
Yeah.
Me and another bloke called Stevie Morehouse, who's just dropped off the perch, unfortunately, this week, and great mate of mine. And we were running with Stan, and he was a pretty notorious fucking fella.
Yeah.
And look, we were still up to no fucking good, and doing our best. We weren't treading on anyone's toes or just laying nice and low. But when he died, that was 2010, and then Steve lived up the Hawkesbury, and I lived further up the coast, and then we just started getting a bit. I said, "Fucking team's getting a bit small, mate. They're all falling off the perch, and you know what I mean." And all the blokes that I ran with, like in that life, they were either doing life or, which Ned was doing, or the other ones were all dead.
Yep.
That's why I called the book The Last Man Standing, because out of that team that I ran with personally, they're all fucking gone.
Yeah.
So, I am that fucking bloke.
It was just it was kind of like it was the end of an era.
Yeah, that's right. It was, and I just said, it's just not the same as it was, mate. Yeah. And I just didn't want to fucking put up with all the bullshit anymore. All the fucking treachery and the fucking, there was none in the team I was in. There was fucking no treachery there. It was fucking just fucking easy fucking flowing, because they were professional and fucking didn't have fucking egos, mate. Their ego days were fucking over fucking 30 years fucking beforehand. So we're all fucking blokes just doing our fucking best and fucking cruising along. But then I just thought, oh, no, I've had a fucking enough, and, I want to look after me grandkids and fucking see all them grow up and watch them at football and,
Did you, when you were kind of balancing that life between a couple of days at home and also organised crime, did you have trouble when you were just at home relaxing just to try and, like, unwind?
Yeah, some days I did.
Yeah.
Especially when I knew I had, at one stage there, like I had a couple of, like Flannery and another bloke called Laurie Prendergast from Melbourne, both hunting me down, and they were doing it on behalf of when Michael Drury got shot and he didn't die. They were looking for a scapegoat, and I got roped into a fucking terrible fucking thing there by Nettie Smith, and I fell into it, and it was a pretty good fucking trap, and it was and it was look. I don't hold any grudges about it. It's funny because I don't hate anyone. I don't even hate the bloke who's trying to fucking kill me. You know what I mean? I don't fucking hate him. Hating just breeds fucking cancer in your fucking body. And,
Isn't it hard?
If your enemies see what you think about them, you stress about them, they'd fucking laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of that.
But
That's
I mean,
what I say. I don't care about death, mate.
And it is personal. If someone's trying to take your life, though, you can,
if it's personal.
So
but come at me, come at me, you motherfucker.
But so
see how you go then.
It's interesting to be able to just take a step back from that, and you don't have hate, even though someone's trying to do the most personal thing they could, which is take your life.
Yeah, and you got to understand this too, that one of the major reasons that I left the fucking bloke and didn't fucking really go on with him is because of the fucking protection he had. You know what I mean? At one stage, they were picking up me cigarette butts in the fucking pub when I used to smoke when I was 50. They were going around and fucking just walked in the pub dressed like fucking the coppers I'm talking about, just dressed as fucking bar usefuls, walking straight up to my ashtray, fucking emptying it into a plastic bag and walking out of the pub.
Why were they collecting it?
For DNA.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Because
fingerprints on the butts.
Yeah,
or
so
your
if
mouth.
he went down or I tried to get him or unloaded some shots, they were going to set me up. They wanted me in the can. That's how organised crime works. Either dead or you're going to get set up, right? And so the coppers will fucking do that on behalf of the fucking crooks.
It sounds like something out of a
So
movie.
I blew it up in the paper.
Yeah.
I blew it up in the paper and I said, this is the new go with DNA. Well, out of doing that, about 3 or 4 people used it that I know of and got out of jail over it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because it's pretty easy to put your cigarette butt at the scene of a crime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I stopped smoking altogether, when I was 50. And, but so that was one of the reasons. And I had to be careful because he was also associated with that Mark Standen, right, from the Crime Commission, who's now serving the 16 years. He's got a couple of years to go, or 18 months or whatever he's got left to serve for important pseudoephedrine. He was tied up with him. They tried to fucking get rid of me and 2 or 3 other fucking blokes. Yep. This whole fucking crew. And they were doing the homework on me to where I was living, where I was going, who I was seeing.
Yeah.
And passing the information back to him. I know that because one of the Crime Commission coppers come to Stan the Man Smith at Gladesville, met him at Gladesville in the Sawdust Hotel and fucking told him.
Yep.
He said, now you keep the fuck out of it. He said, just let it fucking ride, mate. Right? So he fucking did.
Yeah.
And, but I knew.
Yeah, of course you did.
Because if it was fucking...
One thing I wanted to ask you was I've seen a couple of interviews with you where you talked about there was an incident where some money that was supposed to go to you went missing and you went to, I think, Chris Flannery. You went to an apartment.
Yeah, that's when Ned stole the money off me.
Yeah.
That was the first attempt at getting rid of me on behalf of Michael Drury.
Right.
Right.
But that seemed like, in that instance, it kind of seemed like Nettie was involved with setting you up.
Fucking hope he was involved in it.
And then there was another instance where, you saw that there was a cop car and a van following you around.
Yeah,
that
that was the same one. That was over Drury, over Michael Drury.
And again, it seems like Nettie was involved in setting you up.
That's what I said before. Ned set me into this trap.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was going down there to square up on him.
So,
and he started to say to me, I'm a Jerry to him, mate. You're right. You were right all along. They're going to try and knock me. And they would have in the end anyway.
Yeah.
Right, because that was the way Flannery was. But
so Nettie is this guy who is supposed to be your mate. You've done all these jobs together, and then there's multiple instances where he's setting you up.
he started to turn on me early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I Jerry. This is, we're talking 1986 when he disappears, Flannery.
Yeah.
85 is when Drury got shot.
Yeah.
And they, because he didn't die, they needed a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And I know that Roger Rogerson, he even made a DVD called Roger Rogerson. And on that, he'll even say, I sent Detective Anderson down to Chris Flannery's place to talk to him about the gang wars. Well, why would you be sending him there to talk about the gang wars, mate? Right? So someone had to fall for all the bodies, right?
Yep.
And someone had to fall for Drury.
Yep.
Right? So they went to the house. Now, this come off someone that was there that told me that they were going to set me up. Yep. And it was Kathy Flannery, the wife of Flannery, that said to the cop, to all them who were in the room, Ned, fucking Chris, right, he needs to go. Well, fucking what about Abo? Yeah. They were trying to think of their best way out of it. So it was a good business plan that I'd get shot. And so what was going to happen, Ned came to me. It was the day that Sugar Ray Robinson fought Marvis Marvin Hagler. Yep. And I said, what do you want? What do you want? He rung me up. And I said, what do you want? And he said, I want to have a yak to you, mate. And I said, I've got nothing to yak to you about, Ned. Right? And he said, you will today. He said, mate, this is fucking important. And he said, you were right. That's all I need to tell you over the phone. Which is usually he'd fucking tell you fucking everything. Right? So I went, right, well, I'm going down to the Belmont 16-footers to watch the fight. Yep. And you can bring 5,000 with you because I lost 5,000 on Roberto Duran when he fought Thomas Hitman Hearns. Yep. I said, so bring 5,000 with you and I'm on Robinson, right? Sugar Ray, right? And he said, all right, I'll back Hagler. He's my favourite fight. I said, good, fucking bring it down. So he brings that down. So we watched the fight. No business talked. After the fight, I win the fucking Sugar Ray wins. I get me fucking $5,000. stuck it in me kick. His wife had dropped him off in his big Rolls Royce he had at the time. And I said, right, we got over in the corner and after we had a drink with a couple of blokes, I said, yeah, what do you want to talk about? And I said, because really I shouldn't even be fucking sitting here with you. He said, no, you were right all along. He said, they're going to try and have a go. I said, oh, now you come to me. Now you fucking come to me. I said, I've told you that all along.
Yep.
And I said, and you tried to set me up. And I said, on there, he said, oh, mate. He said, I had nothing and I didn't even know it was going to. I said, come on, Ned. Fucking kidding me.
Don't insult me.
Right, so anyway, so next minute the conversation sort of stretched in this area where he said, you know, they just had a crack at George Freeman. And George jerried to it and fucking took off like a fucking maniac in the car and fucking got through the break before they could get themselves set. Yep. That was Prendergast and Flannery, right? Because they wanted to take out his boss. Yep. They thought they always wanted to take over. And I said, there's nothing there to take over, you know, and that was another reason they were dirty on me. I said, they're jumping on fucking things that are fucking old school, mate. They're too old school. They're fucking gone those days. The illegal gambling, the fucking George is an SP fucking bookie.
And so
like
what,
fucking,
Flannery, these guys were like hotheads from Melbourne, were they?
Yeah, both gunmen.
Yeah.
You know, Laurie was probably fucking more willing than Flannery was, and done some fucking pretty fucking big hits.
Yeah.
And you know, machine gun one bloke in the fucking bathtub, and you know, they were willing blokes. So, but you know, as you say, they all fucking bleed, don't they? You know, and everyone bleeds. So I said, righto, so what's your plan? And he said, well, they're in hiding at the moment because of that. They're going to lay low. He said, because they think that George is jerried to them, you know. And he said, so what about I find out exactly where they are? He said, well, fucking meet them first. He said, give them a fucking gun. He said, because they've got no weapons. They fucking hightailed it, dumped everything, and they're fucking laying low. I'm thinking about this, and he said, and then we'll just fucking go to the turnout where they are and we'll fucking give it to them, wherever they are. I went, I thought to myself, yeah, well, you would go and fucking with them, right? So I thought, all right, I'll fucking play, see where this takes me. Well, I'd fallen into the biggest fucking trap of all time. Little did I know, you know, that I was the scapegoat for the shooting of Michael Drury and probably about 4 or 5 fucking murders in you know, during the gang wars.
Yep.
All right. That I wasn't involved with.
Nettie's come to you with his pitch of a trap for someone else, for Flannery and
on behalf of them.
But
like
really,
he was always going to play fucking second fiddle.
But really,
you know,
it was him.
That was him doing
setting you up,
setting me up as normal.
Yeah.
You know, and doing it on behalf. You know, Roger Rogerson was alleged to be involved in it as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, of charges that he beat, of course.
Yeah.
And but, you know, so it was a fucking good business plan. There was no doubt about that. Anyway, what happened on the day I'm supposed to meet him at the Lord Wolseley, him and I are supposed to leave and go and meet these one bloke at 3 o'clock, give him a gun and some money, right? But the gun was going to be empty, right? And he said, well, just give it to him empty so get your own fucking bullets, you know, trying to keep them untooled, you know, that they don't have any fucking armory. Anyway, so, you know, that'd be another excuse for going back there, right? So we get down the pub. And he comes out and he said, oh, look, Roger's just called me. He said, I've got to fucking meet up with him. He said, any chance of you fucking just running that up? And I went, oh, give it here. I said, give us the fucking thing, because I was going to drive him up there, right?
Yep.
And I always like to be driving, didn't like to be sitting in any passenger seat with anyone. Right?
Yep.
So I said, all right. So he went to hop in, and then he said, I've got to do this fucking phone call. I said, what about the money? He said, fuck the money, don't give it to him.
Did you get sus already when like someone with a plan like that has to just suddenly has an excuse that they have to drop out?
Yeah, when I drove off, I went, that was a bit fucking how you going?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to myself. And then within 200 yards of leaving the place, I sprung this panel van.
Yeah.
Like an old Sandman fucking Falcon, right?
Yep.
With the old doors on the back, double doors on the back, and had curtains on it like a surfy wagon.
Yeah.
Blue and white it was. Anyway, I could see that there was someone in the back and they're peeping through the things, and I'm thinking, are they coppers or, you know, if they're coppers, well, they're only going to get the gun, you know. And I thought, well, they're going to get 2 guns because I've already got my own, right? So I'm going up with this gun that's in a bag, right? So I'm going on fucking long. I pulled it out and I just checked it and it was empty, right? I fucking put it back and I thought, well, if that's empty, I might unload this one if I fucking can somewhere and just in case, right? Because at least I can get through the fucking break with an unloaded gun. In those days, you got about 6 months for it.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Not
Today,
like these
you get
days.
7 years.
Yeah.
Right? So, and, you know, and I would have slung someone anyway. So, would have got through the fucking break. So, as I said, everyone already knew that I carried one. Even they, you know, all the crooks fucking did too.
Yep.
So they knew I would have been tooled anyway. So, but they give me this gun and away I go. So this panel man follows me all the way up through the city, down around the cathedral. And I went down there to the New Zealand Hotel, turned left, headed up William Street, come to the first set of traffic light, and they had to pull up just a little bit diagonal of me, right, because they were heading in the same direction. So
Yep.
I put down the window of the car. I was in a Jag, had a 350 Chev motor in it, had it all souped up. I looked over and I said, what are you looking at, you fucking dog? You know, like trying to get a response. If he's a crim, he's going to go, what you fuck, you know?
He's going to fire up.
He just
bridge
went,
up. Yeah.
just fucking looked at me and fucking ignored me.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, geez, I know that fucking head. I'm driving off through the lights when they go green. I'm watching. Anyway, I pulled up the top. I was going to the King Arthur's Court Hotel just before you hit the Coca-Cola sign at the top. I turned off to the left, parked the car, got out, and I walked up the corner. I saw him go up the top, so I walked into the bar. The bloke's not there, of course.
Yep.
Right? But it's about a couple of minutes to go, so I said, I'll give him a couple of minutes. So I walked out, bought a midi, and I walked over and I sat at the big bay window and I looked across the road and they parked on the other side. Next fucking minute, a detective car pulls up beside him. You can always tell the D cars how they looked in those days. They pull up beside him. He gets out of the car and I know who it is, and he's fucking up them, you know, fucking having a go at them. I thought, well, they must be cops. So I went, well, if I leave here, I thought, what are they following me for? And I sat there and just had me beer, and I thought, I think I've been fucking trapped here.
Yeah.
Just a fucking setup.
Yep.
And I thought, are they fucking cops in the back? Are they fucking crims? Are the cops in it? What's fucking, you know, well, because I've been in that life, I fucking know how they operate. And I went, well, no good me going up the top and going left into William Street and going through the cross and Rushcutters Bay or you know, and not finding out what it's about.
Yep.
And like I always do, I go in the fucking lines then. So I went, fuck it, I'm going. So I walked straight up the street, got both guns, my gun and the other gun, put them both between me fucking legs, even though this one was fucking empty. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Put them both fucking there. And I'm driving up the fucking street, got up to the Coca-Cola sign, turned right, went right again. As you're coming down the ramp, it's not there anymore, but it used to have the old fire station and then these parking spots on the side, on the left-hand side.
Yep.
Because I only went up there this morning. And when I was coming here and I looked at it, and now the parking spaces are gone. So as I come down, the cop car went out in front, panel van comes out behind. I said, they're working like cops, but, you know, I'm not fucking sure about them. So I said, I've just got to fucking wait. So as I'm driving down William Street, I go down the bottom where that New Zealand hotel was. I went right, heading up towards the cathedral, and then I went down around St James Station and turned right at David Jones into Market Street. Well, that part of the city Saturday afternoon in those days was dead. Once the shops had shut at midday, it was dead. So it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, about 3.
No one around.
Right? So it was fucking pretty quiet, bar the fucking, you know, buses going down Elizabeth Street and all that. So I'm waiting at the traffic lights. They had to pull up a bit behind me. They stayed back. But as I come to the lights, I look through. There's the copper's car parked on the left with his wheel turned out.
Yeah.
So I knew he was going to block me.
Yep.
Right? The block was on there. So as I went through the lights, I fucking went whoosh over to the right-hand side, mounted the fucking footpath, nearly run over a bloke on them fucking PMG fucking things and killed him. And fucking reversed fucking backwards.
But escaped.
Yeah, but I reversed backwards then, right? And this fucking thing flew, you know, this car, right?
Yep.
I fucking flew it back, spun into fucking Elizabeth Street and just missed 2 buses. One went whoosh that side of me, one went the other.
Fuck.
And I'm facing the other way. So I get out of the fucking car and they open up the back of the panel van. The copper's car takes off, right? They get out with balaclavas on.
Yep.
And I went,
Guns in
yeah,
hand.
fucking dog. Yeah, he was fucking tooled up.
Yep.
Next minute, they hop back in. There's fucking cars coming. There's fucking traffic, right? I went, not much, but few cars. So I went whoosh straight up the one-way street, went down the Lord Nelson Hotel, down the rocks, got down there and I said, just take the guns for a moment, mate, will you? He was a good mate of mine. Took him and just took him off me and I just sat in the pub and I thought, the fuck just happened then? So I put it together and I said, well, no doubt Ned was fucking behind that.
Had to be.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? So what am I going to do? Am I going to go back and just fucking put one in him? I need to know who they fucking are. I need to work this out, right? So
you
I
went
end
to
up
see-
getting
you went
the
to see
guns.
Nettie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wiped the fucking thing down and I got it fucking put into a fucking rag. I said, just give me an old singlet or something you got down the cellar. They come back. I took it out of the fucking bag it was in, dropped it in the bin, wiped it all down, kept my own gun and fucking went up, parked, and I walked around the corner while his fucking jaw nearly dropped, right? And I said, someone just tried to either fucking kidnap me or fucking murder me.
And you must have known when you saw his face.
Oh, fucking, I can read him like a book, mate.
Yeah.
I can read him when he goes silent. And
That's
I,
all.
I know. I can read him.
That's all you needed to know.
That's all I needed, right? And I said, here's the fucking gun back, right? Someone tried to fucking set me. You're involved, right? Mate, he didn't even fucking get anything out of his mouth. I said, I'm going. Fuck you, right? I drove off. I said, I ain't going nowhere. I went down the fucking road, parked in Jones Street, and fucking went around and come back into Bullwarra Road, which is a one-way street, just walking. I hopped over a fucking couple of little fucking tenement places where I thought no one was home and I just sat on a little garden seat. I kept on looking up the street, sat there for a fucking hour and a bit. Down they come. Down comes Flannery, down comes Prendergast, another bloke driving, right, who was in my team, right, one of the fucking potters, and fucking up pulls the cops, right, then up pulls the Dodger, right, so they're having a fucking big powwow, you know. I said, fucking got you motherfuckers, right, so then the hunt was on, so I said, I'll take him fucking first off the fucking bat. Well, before I could even think about fucking Flannery and that fucking disappeared.
Flannery's gone. I mean,
Prendergast went.
Prendergast gone.
You know.
Nettie ended up getting locked up.
Well,
right?
later on.
Yeah.
And then, like, we're only talking 86 here.
Yeah.
Right? So, next fucking minute, I said, well, fuck it, he's going. So I went over to Roselle and I walked into a fucking pub and he was there with his fucking new little partner in fucking crime. And I had a few words with him about a fucking incident that took place. And then I saw Ned go behind the fucking counter and walked in the back and I seen him fucking get something. I wasn't sure if it was a fucking shiv or what it was. Well, if it was a shiv, he was in plenty of fucking trouble, right? So anyway, he was drinking with 2 detectives again, right? You know, usually everywhere he was, there were a fucking cop around, right? So I went, right, so he had his girlfriend there as well. And I thought, as I walked out, I said, his mate left after this argument I had, and I'd sent my mate who was with me away, right? And he said, where'd your mate go? Oh, this is his other mate, right? And I said, doesn't matter where he's gone, mate. That's none of your fucking business. So we're around the corner just waiting, and he walks past, and I said, well, follow him. This is the bloke who's still trying to kill me today.
Yeah.
So I follow him down the fucking road, and I went, right, well, where's he going to fucking go? I said, well, I'll tell you what the rules are here, mate. I said, if he goes to his house and he comes out tooled up and they come back here, he's fucking going, right, before he even walks in there, right? So that was the rules, but he didn't. He went to the Wedge brothel at Piermont, went into there and had a root, right? Yep. So we waited for about 20 minutes and went back to the scene, right? And I said, right, you park down there. We had a good one, good car that was fucking not going to be contacted to us. And I just went up. I knew his car was parked the other side of the pub in the street, in the side street. I was in a gutter, like on a little bit of an angle. And I knew his girl would drive because he's fucking been on the piss.
Yep.
He'll up in the driver's side. So I laid down in the garden. I actually showed Gary Jublin where this happened on the podcast I did with him. Anyway, I laid down in this rose bed. And it's not there now, the rose bed, but was then.
How long were you laying there for?
Oh, mate, about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
He walks outside and bang. I looked up and I said, here he comes. So I'm fucking laying down. I got this fucking big chrome Magnum. It's fucking laying on me chest. I could fucking hear me heartbeat. You fucking going, I'm going to fucking finish you today.
Yep.
You know? Next fucking minute, gets to the side of the fucking car, I go to fucking sit myself up, and the bull wagon pulls right up, comes straight up the street, sits on the fucking corner, it's got detectives in it.
Yeah.
Hey, Ned, you going down to that new club? There's a new club that opened in Balmain, just up from where they call the Monkey Bar. It used to be the Cricketers' Arms in those days. He said, yeah, I'm going. He said, we'll follow you down. I went, oh, shit.
How lucky can you get?
Fucking blessed or what? So I fucking laid down till they fucking went. I went, oh, fuck, I got down to me mates. What happened? I went, this fucking prick. Have to go down to the club. Go down to this new club. We'll fucking sit off there. So I walked up and I fronted the fucking, I had this wig on. So I went up and it was a fucking real cooter wig. Paid about $5.5 grand for it, right?
You guys loved your costumes.
Oh, yeah, fucking oath. Fucking
Your outfits,
and
disguises.
fucking changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I walked up the door and I called out this bloke who I knew who was the bouncer there, Ray Wales, the lip they called him. And he come out and he went, yeah, mate, what do you want? Didn't even Jerry, it was me. I said, it's me, Abo. And he went, oh, what do you want, mate? I said, see that big prick in there with the fucking cops? I said, just lure him up the bar, start talking to him about, no, I said, make up an excuse to talk to him. I said, and I'll run in there and fucking put one in him. Right? I said, I'll look after you. Oh, don't do that to me, mate.
Oh.
He fucking nearly fucking cried.
Fucking hell.
You know, he was a fucking real nervous bastard,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
So I went, oh, fuck you, Ray. So he said, oh, don't do that, me, mate. It's put me in a bad spot.
Please,
anyway,
Abo.
so I said, go and piss off. Don't fucking tell him. But when he come out, he must have fucking felt a little bit funny.
Yeah.
And he had 3 Sheilas with him. His
There's a
girlfriend,
human shield.
sister, and the mother.
Yeah, okay.
And they were all around him like that.
Oh, wow.
He
Must
walked
have-
up the street and I went, he's some. And I knew Ray didn't do it because I was watching Ray.
So
I could see him through the fucking door.
He's
by
glued
the
on
car.
somehow, yeah.
You know, so he jerried to something. He was a little bit aware that something was a bit smelly
Mm.
because he knew I was having a go at him. And maybe it was the car had Melbourne number plates, right? That might have thrown him out of gear and he might have thought it was the feds,
Who knows?
right? So anyway, whatever the fucking reason was, he got through the fucking break.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then for some reason it never really came to the fucking point where it was going to happen again until we were in the neck.
Do you look back at your life now and just think like, you know, you've had your ups and downs, but it certainly wasn't a boring life. You've lived a colourful.
No, never been boring.
It's been colourful, and you
Boring.
also lived a very charmed life because, as you mentioned, most of the guys you ran around with, like you're the last man standing, literally, because they were either dead or in prison.
No fun.
So, I mean, you've got to look back on it with at least some fondness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Oh, yeah. I still love the company. I get down to Sydney every now and then and I'll go and mix with a couple of old scallywags, you know,
Yep.
and we reminisce and have a bit of a fucking yak about you know, even things will still come up today about things, you know, and I'll quiz someone, you know. I'll say, now, tell me the fucking truth about that day.
yeah, okay.
You know
so
what I mean?
some mysteries from back in the
Yeah,
day
some
are finally being solved.
You know,
but,
they go,
you know,
oh, come on, mate.
yeah.
Come on, fucking let it out.
That's funny.
You know, so, you know, learn a few little sneaky things.
Yep.
But
Now that there's
you
enough
have to
time.
say things don't, like even with that Drury and all that, I didn't pick that up straight away, what
Yeah.
it was about. You know, that took me fucking 12 months, 18 months for it to fucking all fall into place.
Yeah.
And over the years, just things Roger said on his tapes, and I go bang. One day I did a speaking tour with him. We went up to Brisbane. He said, "Do you want to do this show with us?" I said, "No." So he gets up talking about his fucking knife, and everyone was nodding off. They were fucking bored. Then I got up and told them mine. Livened them up a bit. And anyway, I had a bit of a crack at him while he was doing his show. I said, "Open your fucking mouth up, Rod, and tell them some fucking, they want to hear some skullduggery."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got a bit pissed off about it. And he said, "Oh, you fucking shouldn't have fucking said that to me during the fucking thing." I said, "Well, mate, they were fucking nodding off in their seats." I said, anyway. So he pissed off about it. So when we're on the fucking plane, I said, "Listen, soon you're fucking pissed off today and you've got the fucking shit. What about this one?"
Yeah.
I said, "What about Michael fucking Drury?" Right? And that's how I did it. I went, "Michael Drury."
Yeah.
Right? And he went, "What about him?" And I said, "The day I nearly got fucking used as a scapegoat." "Oh, you're paranoid." I said, "No, you know what I'm talking about."
He still wasn't willing to admit it?
No. And I said, "Oh, no, he'd never nod his fucking head." And I said, "Listen, it was good business. Smart business, mate. You fucking nearly got me, except for this up here."
So you tried to give him an out, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, no, I knew he'd never fucking lag himself.
Yeah.
You know? He said, "Oh, you're fucking paranoid." I said, "No, I'm not." Anyway, after that, we never did anything together, right?
What was he like as a bloke? Was he just...
He was a pretty likeable type of a bloke. Good comer. I mean, I've got to say, he got me out of a bit of shit.
Yep.
Right?
He's all right to have a beer with?
Never paid him for Bob. Yeah, no, he's good company. He's good company. But in all the fucking years, that's what people say, "Oh, you must have given him." I said, "Listen, never give him a fucking zack." I said, one day I tried to get him on side. I even told this to the fucking ICAC. I said, "Mate, the only time I ever tried to bribe a cop was fucking Rogers." And I said, and he told me to get fucked, stick it up my ass.
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, I was trying to get him on side because I wanted to fucking take Ned down."
Yeah.
Right? And this at a restaurant, the fucking Coachman restaurant. I pulled it, he went out for a piss and I went out with him. And when he was out, I said, "Listen, here's a Christmas present for you." And he said, no, I don't need that much to get about." So I don't know if he thought maybe I was wired up
Yeah.
or I was trying to trap him or he didn't want to take it. So if he was ever taking it, he was taking it off other coppers that Ned was paying for the robberies, then they'd bypass it to him.
Yeah, okay.
Kept himself wide. He wasn't fucking silly,
No.
you know. But, you know, he was a likeable cunt. I've got to say that. And, mate, even if the other coppers come to us and tried to stamp us, we just fucking called him. Just say, "Come here, we need to see you." Say, "These fucking coppers fucking pinched us today. They want fucking 10 grand a fucking week," right? And we just told them to get fucked. But he said, "Well, if you're the rear next week, you're fucking off." Because there was a certain little spot where people used to go and hoist stuff, you know, around the fucking city.
Yep.
Right? And they'd take truckloads of cigarettes and truckloads of fucking whatever.
Yep.
Right? So next fucking minute, we fucking pulled him down to this fucking strip bar in Circular Quay. And they're all fucking up there, the coppers. We said, "All right, we'll pay you. Come up here tonight." So they all fucking turn up. And they're expecting a big payday. And then Roger comes in. And I said, "You all know Roger, don't you?" And they went, yeah, how you going, Roger?" "Yeah, good, mate." "Yeah, we're the new blokes here on the breaking squad." And he said, "Come over here, one of I told you." He lined them up on the wall. "You fucking ever go near those fucking blokes again, you fucking dogs." Right? Fucking right up and bang. They all walked out with their tails between their legs.
Problem solved for you, right?
And my mate said, "Yeah, I'll raise a couple of fares and have a drink." They said, "Stick it up your fucking ass."
Yeah.
Oh, fucking filthy. So everyone knew, don't fucking grab these fucking blokes.
Yeah.
If you're going to grab him, then you got to deal with him.
Yeah.
Because that's how much power he had in those days, even though he was just a fucking detective sergeant.
So do you think because is that why you have these kind of complicated views of people? Because like with someone like Roger, like, yeah, he might have tried to set you up, but also he was fun company, but also he got you out of a lot of shit as well, right? So
Well, yeah, he got me out of a couple of blues that over the years, but
so it's just it's complicated,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a mix of I mean, it's obviously soured when someone tries to kill you or set you up. That would be hard
of
for me
course,
to.
it's a different fucking ballgame.
Yeah.
You know?
When so I was in Long Bay when Nettie Smith died in September 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, did you care when he died? Did that register anything for you?
Nah, look, at the end of the day, I had some good years with him and some fucking bad years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have fucking probably run in that life had I not run into him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think everyone comes up with all these theories that, you became notorious because you knocked around with him. Well, maybe I fucking did. But I'd rather fucking fly under the radar all my life. But unfortunately, even when I was a kid, my reputation was fucking massive, and I had fucking headlines when I was a fucking kid in Ryball magazines, and they were fucking like porno magazines, where I run fucking prostitutes and standover rackets as a teenager. I mean, I was already fucking pretty fucking notorious, as far as the street went, but it wasn't until later on. And as I say, I tried to fly under the fucking radar. I was quite fucking happy, and they could say, well, like when they made that silly fucking Blue Murder, like acting like I was his fucking bodyguard.
Yeah.
I mean, we were partners in crime.
Yep.
I did the organising. I put the fucking team together, really.
It sounds like a lot more of that strategy piece fell on your shoulders.
Oh,
right?
fucking oath it did.
Yeah.
All did.
Yeah.
I was the one to play that out. And I said, all you got to do is, if we need them, you fucking look after them.
Yeah.
But fucking otherwise, but then he got his nose out of joint because he'd say, I better do something or, but most of the time he did fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the honest truth. Did fucking nothing. But I remember when I hit the prison system, when I knew he'd been seeing the ICAC, I wasn't real sure who it was he was saying till I got out there. He said, I'm going to fucking talk to the fucking, give up the fucking jacks. And I went, the fuck would you do that for?
Yeah.
What, just because you got life?
Yeah. Because
he got life for this fucking stabbing of the tow truck driver at Coogee, of which he did. But next fucking minute, he's I thought, well, why would you want to do that? You're going to get out in fucking, 15 years, right? 13, 15 years on life lagging in those days, maybe a little bit longer. But at least you're going to get fucking out.
Yeah.
And you'll be still fucking, you might even still have some going you. But he was getting very sick then. So, and I think he was worried about his vulnerability, about dying in there and all that sort of thing. So he started to turn. I said, so what I started to do, I said, well, what are you talking about? And he said, I've taken the rap for the cockatoo. I said, why would you do that? I know why he was doing it, because he was writing a book. So he tried to say that he set it up, I fucking did it. I thought, well, wait a minute. I said, so who'd you say you did it with? He said, I haven't fucking really said anyone. He said, it's not about criminals, the ICAC investigate. It's about cops. I said, yeah, Ned, but this is a fucking commission. And then at the end of that commission, they're going to say, if there's a prima facie case here against this copper or that copper, then you're going to get put in the witness box. They're going to, for your credibility, they're going to say to you, rightio, well, who'd you do that robbery with? So who are you going to fucking put there?
Yeah.
You better fucking nominate some dead people. Yeah, no, I've already fucking done something like that. Right? And I thought, wait a fucking minute here.
He's mentioned you.
Yeah. So what I did, I thought, I'll wait till he's fucking. So I said to his fucking. So his partner would tell me things at the time when we were friends, right? So he'd come up and he'd say, he's fucking talking about this and talking about that. I said, yeah. Well, I said, there's only one thing to fucking do, right?
Yeah.
I said, I missed him before. Might as well fucking get him here. I said, we got to fucking get him here. He said, I'm not fucking getting involved. I said, listen, fucking mate, fucking just put him down fucking here, right? All you got to do there, we've got to fucking call out one of the fucking homicide coppers. on a fucking visit, we'll make sure that happens through someone, right? And fucking just say, fucking mate, done you a favour.
Yep.
It's about to fucking turn on, as it turned out, 72 police.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't even known fucking 17, right? So the ICAC helped him with it all.
Yep.
That bullshit he knew 72 police. So he could, an impossibility, right? So, and I ran with him for 10 years, so I'd fucking know, so.
So he was just trying to take down anyone he could? at that
Anyone.
stage? Yeah.
He needed to take down anyone he thought was going to be a threat to him when he got out, right? Well, it wasn't going to happen unless there was corroboration, right? So next when I'm going, fuck me. Then I find out this other bloke who was allegedly a part of my team has rolled over and he's blaming me for this and said I was involved with some murder of fucking some bloke called Bruce Andry at fucking they found out at Botany, and I went, the fuck? How did he fucking get that? Bullshit. And apparently he got that off fucking Ned or something.
Yeah.
So some bullshit fucking story there. So next fucking minute, I thought to myself, fuck. I said, well, if he's not going to fucking, no one wants to give it to him here, and the other bloke doesn't want to fucking be involved. He said, nah. He said, I don't give a fuck what I do. But he said, I won't be coming back here. I always remember them words and fucking how right he's been, right? So I went, yeah, good one. So next fucking minute I thought, no, I've got to fucking stick my head in here. So I told everyone, I said, I'm going to stick my head into this.
Yep.
So if you see me getting taken out of here, don't think I'm fucking turning. So I said, so I had to play the fucking chess game. It was the only smart way out of it. And if they asked me anything about it, I'd just nominate fucking dead people.
Yep.
So I said to fucking Ned, well, did that with this bloke. He's dead. Fucking Laurie. We'll blame Laurie fucking Prendergast. We'll blame fucking Laurie Johnson. He's dead. He was another armed robber. And we'll blame fucking Flannery.
Flannery, yeah,
right?
Chris Flannery.
So that's it. So if they ever got to that point, that's what they were going to get. But as I said, this was a corruption inquiry. It had nothing to do with crimes. So they fucking get into there and they fucking throw me into solitary because they think, well, you fucking will pressure him, right? Like 2.5 fucking years.
Pressure you to do what?
Pressure me to turn.
Yeah, okay.
Right? They thought that'd pressure me.
Yeah.
I said, mate, I'm only doing 8 fucking years.
Yeah.
Right? I'll stay here for the 8 if you like. Stick it up your ass. So I said, not going to get nothing out of fucking me. And I said, yeah, I run with him. Yeah, we probably had a green light, but I wasn't with him when he got it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I saw nothing.
And I've never seen him get paid. So the Ian Temby, the commissioner of the place, calls me up in a private hearing. And he says, how come you've said here to the investigators that you've never seen Ned pay the police? I said, because I've never seen him pay the police.
Yep.
I've never paid him.
Yep. Not
personally. Right? And he said, so, if there's no corroboration, there's no corroboration. And I said, so I don't know. And he said, well, why would that be? I said, because he wanted to keep more to himself. He didn't want me cutting his throat.
Yep.
I said, mate, he had a top fucking, he's supposed to be the big man, the big leader, so let him have it. I said he can take the heat and, that's the way I expected it to be.
But meanwhile, Nettie's story is he paid this guy, this guy, this guy.
He's told him he's paid him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's throwing me into it, but I'm saying no.
No. Saw nothing.
So
heard
I
nothing.
said, so in the end, after 2.5 years, they get me up there in the fucking public hearing and they pass up this fucking statement.
And
I'm reading on the statement and it said, then I walked upstairs with Ned and we paid this policeman from Newcastle over a robbery, a bag snatch or something. I went,
none of this is true.
No, that's not fucking what I said.
Yeah.
I said, I made a tape recorded interview. Play the fucking interview.
Yeah.
Right? Play the tape. He said, get out. Get out.
Why'd they bring you in there anyway if you could
Because they were trying to think I'd turn on the fucking sixpence there.
Yeah.
And go, yeah, that's a fucking kid, aren't you?
They clearly didn't know
I
you
said,
well enough.
What do you just fucking put me life in danger, you fucking dopes?
Yeah.
Right on, mate? So, naturally that was all part of the fucking plan when I was going to get out. That other bloke was thinking to himself, well, I'll get rid of him on behalf of the coppers anyway, and it'll look like he's just disappeared and we'll say he's on probably on witness protection or something.
Yep.
You know, well, I had no reason to do that. That's why I said, no, fucking my family don't need protection, mate. So they put Ned on protection, his wife and everyone. And I said, don't go near my fucking family, mate. We're not fucking going nowhere.
Yep.
I've done nothing to fucking, you know.
You didn't talk anyway.
Yeah, so that's right. So all I did was corroborate fucking armed robberies, right? And then he said, well, and that's when they said, well, who'd you do them with? I said, Christopher Dale Flannery and Laurie Johnson. He said, they're both dead. And I went,
Unfortunate for you.
Unfortunate for them. You know, and mate, I said, that's just the way life is.
Yep.
So, you know, that was beautiful. So, but anyway, I got kicked out of there, and that was the headlines the next day. Henry ejected from the ICAC. And that was the end of it. You know, never called me back. Chris Murphy actually wrote a column in the paper and said he should be called back to fucking, we want to hear the rest of it.
I want to hear the true story, yeah.
Yeah, we want to hear the tapes and, right?
Yeah.
But they wouldn't fucking play.
No.
Right? Because I had them fucked. And I would have sued the arse of them. So when the Royal Commission started, I got called to the Royal Commission, but downstairs, like they never called me up into the fucking Royal Commission itself. They took me downstairs into these, like an interview room. I got my barrister with me and I said, yeah, what do you want? He said, you ever done a robbery up in the Gold Coast or anything? I said, no. I said, listen, mate, what's all this shit about? He said, well, you know, we think you might be involved with some fucking coppers and you've slung someone and been involved with the undercover bloke. And I wake up your fucking self. I said, listen, if you want to investigate corruption, investigate the ICAC, mate. And I said, here's me barrister. And I said, and I'm telling you in front of him, they fabricated my statement.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, well, apparently you're not going to say anything. I said, I've got nothing to say, mate. Got nothing to talk to you about.
Yep.
So I never got called, ever. You know
Well,
what I mean? So
You weren't a witness that was going to support anything that they were trying to do. So, yeah.
to cover me ass and cover me gang,
They shouldn't have.
you know, that's what I did it for, to cover me, cover me gang.
Totally. But they shouldn't have wheeled you out there in the first place because you did nothing.
That's right.
You did nothing to help their
Exactly.
case.
You know, and for it, out of it come these fucking, one fucking bloke wanted to fucking take me out to play over it. When he was the one who was fucking getting taken out of the prison by the cops, having a fucking root and a fucking drink in the Cowrie Hotel in fucking Glebe and fucking chattering away about what fucking Ned's saying and what he thinks I'm doing and you know what I mean? And he knew I knew it.
Yeah.
So that's what caused it. So we had a big meeting at the America's Cup bar when I got out. I turned up on me fucking pat. One bloke's fucking sitting off me, right? They had fucking 20 blokes there,
Wow.
you know, all around me and fucking sitting behind the bar. Right in the Hilton I made at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, righto. So I walked up, next minute they're all, and in comes the fucking one bloke who's, I knew was the one who let go of me. Right? I said, anyway, he said, well, it wasn't me. And I said, listen, don't insult my fucking intelligence.
Yeah.
Right? I'm well aware it was you and your fucking big mate who just walked out the door. Right? I said, and you can all sit in here fucking surrounding me. I don't give a fuck. Right? You got blokes hiding me on the bar here. Right? I can fucking see them. I know who you got there, right? I saw the blokes as I come up the stairs with the fucking plugs in their ears. They're probably working for you or the cops. They're either the security that your fucking cousins are or the cops, one or the other, right? I said to the bloke who was sitting this side of me, and you, I said, I've saved your life 3 times. You would have been dead fucking years ago. Oh, yeah, mate, no.
Sorry.
Anyway, so I said, and they said, oh, well, keep out of fucking 10th Street in the city then. I said, what? He said, look, we don't want a gang war. Michael Hurley said he was sitting there. I said, Michael, you would never be involved in a fucking gang war. Fuck, you'd be lucky to be in a street fight, right? I said, so there ain't no gang fucking war here, mate. There's fucking me. I haven't even got a fucking gang.
Yeah.
Right?
Just on your own.
I just walked out of the fucking joint, right, after 6 fucking years. And I said, so I'll go anywhere I fucking like, and if anyone should take fucking abuse to that, you know, then you'll receive something in return.
Yep.
And one of them already said something about Kent Street, and I said, well, I've already walked into your fucking place. The only thing fucking stopped me fucking having a quiz with you, I said there was someone else there with you on the night. And I described the bloke, and he knew I was fucking right. And I said, you left the front door open, mate, so keep it shut. All right? So they knew, you know. And I said, so off you go. So they fucked off. And then I just waited about 5 minutes, walked out, and my other bloke walked out, and we walked down the stairs, and I was gone. Anyway, within a fucking week, they were sitting off me.
Yeah.
You know, and then trying to have goes and fucking. So I'd chase fucking that bloke, and it just fucking kept going on and on, mate. Spasmodically, not like constantly. If it was constant, would have been just fucking on for fucking young and old, you know.
Yep.
But there'd be breaks in between it, and think dropped off. I'd never ever think that. I still don't think it to this moment.
Do you still think it could happen?
Oh,
You know,
fucking
still-
like nearly happened a couple of months ago. But you know, they tried to fucking do it, but. You know, as I say to the bloke, I'd say to him, fucking, here, mate, get a fucking life. You know what I mean? Fucking grow up. Time to fucking move on your life.
So, yeah, I mean,
Fuck,
it sounds
mate.
like you're retired and living the quiet life with family, but there's still the possibility that someone might drag you back in.
They might try and drag me back into it, mate, you know? And it'd have to be a fucking pretty hot fucking go. And if they did, then, you know, I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in the fucking game, and I'll fucking play it out.
Well, you're still fit. You had a boxing match, only a few years ago?
Yeah, I fought for the Australian title when I was 65.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I snapped me soleus muscle.
Which muscle's that?
Your standing muscle, right at the back of your calf there. It runs right up. It's like a big ligament. And it snapped, and I just fucking flew backwards. Couldn't fucking, you know, it all wobbled on me, and fucking that was the end of me. Went down like a bag of shit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I fucking had the bloke just right where I wanted him in my own corner, just ready to fucking, I stepped up, but I've been training on hard surface. When I got into the boxing ring, I could feel that giving the floor was just too much on me fucking Achilles and me leg.
Yeah.
You know, I could feel it.
So the spirit's still there, but
fucking hell.
the body's slowly wearing out a bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, not too long ago, I fucking, you know, I was still sparring 25-year-old cage fighters and,
Yeah, wow.
you know, and fucking stepping into them. I had plenty of them throw off their gloves and fucking, I can't stand being beaten by you. You know, look. So, you know, I'm still pretty fucking quick. I keep quick. I just do a few squats, a few push-ups, and I walk, mate. I don't do anything else. I don't try and do weights or any fucking things like that, you know. But, no, I'm still pretty good for 71. I feel good. Young in spirit, mate. So, you know, it keeps me going. My grandkids keep me going, and, you know, that's all I'm concerned about. That's all I want to do. I don't have to, you know, but I'll probably do it, mate, if I live to fucking 96. If I do, I'll fucking still be walking around fucking, I just check out stuff.
With eyes at the back of your head.
It's just the way. It's not like I remember doing an interview with a bloke in New Zealand. He said it's just the paranoid life of Abo Henry, and I went, I'm not fucking paranoid, mate. I've just got this awareness about me.
Got this,
You know,
it
it's
sounds
not
like
paranoid is fear. You know, you're fucking frightened or something. Oh, that's fucking paranoid, or thinking something's there is fucking never there. You know what I mean?
Just an alertness.
Yeah, it's just got that alertness about me.
Yep.
And I do it every day.
Well,
I scan the street and scan me terrain, mate. That's what keeps me going.
I mean, it sounds like between the dreams you've had that have and your psychic abilities that have given you these kind of forewarnings, plus this heightened awareness of situational awareness that keeps you sharp and seeing things around you. I mean, these things sound like things that go a long way to explaining how you are the last man standing, right?
I'd say so, mate. Yep, 100%. You know, without that, I would have been long gone, buddy.
Right.
Long gone.
Right. But
know?
here you are, still able to share your amazing
Would have been a
stories
couple of
with
dead
us.
ones along the way with them.
Yeah, but you know, fortunately for us, you're still around and able to share all these amazing stories. So, if you want to read more of the Abo Henry story, the book is Last Man Standing.
Last Man
and it's
Standing,
available-
and you get it at atreacherouslife.com. You know, I'll sign it and send it off to you.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, I think that's covered off a great little piece of the Abo Henry story.
Yeah, mate.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of Shit's Gone Sideways.
Good as gold, mate.
Shit's gone sideways.